Welcome to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. It's such an exciting time to be here in the city of brotherly love that is Philadelphia. And that's because we're in the throes of All-Star Week. Tonight is the Home Run Derby. I believe things kick off at 8 o'clock, but to get us all up to speed with what's going on, to get us hyped up with all the fans who are out at Citizens Bank Park, I want to turn things over to Chris O'Connell, one of our reporters. Chris, you've been out there all day long. Tell me, what's the feeling out there?
Well, first of all, this is a really fun event. This is for Major League Baseball. Ever since they've been doing the Home Run Derby, Judea, since 1985, it's just really the family-friendly, kid fun. This is not serious at all, although there's some serious prize money for the winner. But this is just a fun event. Take a look behind me, Citizens Bank Park. Gates open to the Home Run Derby about 5 o'clock, and people have been making their way inside, getting their photos, taking a look at the All-Star Game field. Of course, the All-Star Game tomorrow night. The Home Run Derby starting at 8 o'clock tonight, and as you can see, as you can imagine, there are lots and lots of Phillies fans here. They want to see two people in particular who are in the All-Star Game. Take a look at some fans earlier showing up to the ballpark tonight. Just a really exciting time. There hasn't been a All-Star Game Home Run Derby here in Philadelphia for 30 years, and we talked to a few fans, young and old, here with their baseball mitts, hoping to catch a home run ball. Who the favorites are, and there's no question and no surprise, it's Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. You brought your glove, I see. What are you hoping to see?
Me catching a home run by Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, you want a Kyle Schwarber home run?
Yeah.
Awesome. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. We're excited. First time for both of us. Let's do it. We're ready to rock.
What are you looking forward to most?
Seeing a lot of home runs. A lot of home runs. A lot of bombs.
It's my first time, yeah. I'm hoping to see home runs like Schwarber, Harper, obviously.
Back out here live. That's what it's all about. 8 o'clock. We got a Red Sox fan here. That's, you know what? No one's hating on anyone's team tonight. It's all about love. It's all about baseball. Talk to a few fans. Delco? Are you guys going in?
We're going in.
What's it like? What's the Home Run Derby like? It's not serious. This is like a fun event.
Nothing better than Harper and Schwarbs head to head.
Who's going to win tonight?
Schwarber.
Who's going to win?
Schwarber.
The whole event has been pretty great for the city of Philadelphia. What's it been like kind of watching this whole event, knowing one of the Midsummer Classic right here in your home ballpark?
We love the stadium. Had season tickets since it opened. Go Phils.
All right, and you guys used to play hockey, right?
Strathaven, that's right.
Yeah.
Strathaven.
All right, they.
Coach O'Connell.
Yeah, that's
Coach
right. Yeah,
O'Connell.
my brother was their coach. Good to see you guys. So it is all about the fun, all about Team USA. Where are you from?
From San Francisco, California. Let's go Giants,
You
baby.
here to see your Giants?
Of course, man. Hey,
Did you make the trip to Philadelphia? Tell me, what's your trip been like?
we flew in Friday. No, we left. We got here Saturday morning.
Okay.
And we're leaving Wednesday, so we got here 5 days here in the city of brotherly love.
Are you going tomorrow night as well?
We're doing tomorrow night. Today we're just taking the festivities out, but tomorrow night we're gonna do.
Oh, you got tickets?
Yeah, we got tickets. We already did the Home Run Derby last year in Atlanta, so we're gonna skip that and go to the game tomorrow.
What's a home run derby like for people who are walking in, getting ready to see it for the first time?
Well, you just got to be ready to get on there and catch a ball.
It's all about the balls,
All
right?
it is, and who's going to get it today? Junior Caminero, baby.
All right, well, we got two hometown guys that might,
I know you guys, but Dominican Republic rules baseball.
All right, you got it. I don't mind that. So, yeah, fans getting ready for all colors and stripes. Doesn't matter your team. It's all about baseball. It's all about having fun here at the All-Star or at the Home Run Derby. And I can tell you, winner, I tell you, Judea, I told you, it is a little bit serious. Winner gets $1 million. Runner-up gets $500,000. So that would be
$1 million?
Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, depending on which one comes in first.
Nobody told me that money was at stake. I thought they were just doing it for the love of the game.
No, this is serious stuff. You're invited to this. You win. And keep in mind, it's not an easy task. You know, it's been said that after you get up there and swing for 50 times, your swing could be a little off. So let's hope that doesn't happen to Bryce and Kyle.
Yeah, actually, during our morning meeting, I heard that weather could also play a role in it too. There was something about the wind and whatnot that may throw things off, or it may benefit you. So later on, we'll check in with our meteorologist about that. But Chris, while I have you, you've kind of gotten a taste of all things All-Star, and this is my very first one. Can you just walk me through even All-Star Village? That was one of your reports like a couple of days ago.
Yeah, that, you know, it was really something for everyone. The Capital One All-Star Village still continues until tomorrow. It is the fan-friendly version of interactive events. If you can't make it to one of these premier events, then that was, I think, $35 for adults to get in, 30 for kids. And I could not hear any more positive things about the All-Star Village experience. They broke it up into different sections of the city. All kinds of different interactive meet and greets, autograph sessions, high-tech VR events, really cool stuff. And then the 3-on-3 event yesterday, they had a softball classic. Tonight is the Home Run Derby, and it just kind of keeps every year getting kind of bigger and better. But baseball and the Phillies wanted to be sure this year, as we're celebrating the 250th, they wanted to have it here in Philadelphia, and here we are. And we couldn't have the two of the biggest superstars in Major League Baseball getting ready to grace the field here at Citizens Bank Park.
Which is so exciting. Chris, I have two more questions for you. These ones are personal ones, though. They're not necessarily fact-based, so we'll see how you respond. First and foremost, Schwarber, Harper, are you leaning toward one or the other?
Back in 2018, both of them were in the finals when Bryce was with the Nationals, Kyle was with the Cubs. The All-Star game was at National Stadium. It was Bryce's home stadium, and Bryce Harper won the Home Run Derby. So I think everyone here, at least the Phillies fans, are hoping for a Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper finals here in the Home Run Derby. That'd be picture perfect.
According to the Fantastic Sports Show, you know they had that whole poll going throughout their show. Everybody thought it was going to be Schwarber, but I don't know. I mean, I understand, but if we've learned anything from the FIFA World Cup, it seems to be that sometimes it can be those underdogs that come out on top too. Last question for you. I was just thinking about this. Of all of the All-Stars, players who have gone on to glory or who have retired, would there be anyone that you would want to see, like today, in their prime, take place in a Home Run Derby?
Yes. That's a really great question. First of all, Judea, and I have a pretty damn good answer. And he's right there. Michael Jack Schmidt. He's an all-star, retired in '89. I don't know if I don't think he was ever in a home run derby. Of course, he was a home run hitter, best third baseman ever to play the game, in my opinion, many people's opinion. So yeah, I would like to see Michael Jack Schmidt in his prime, see a home run derby, especially right around now.
I love that answer. I actually wasn't expecting it, and of course you're right next to it, so it was perfect. Chris, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This has been fun getting to chat with you. My answer though, Hank Aaron. I would love to see Hank Aaron in his prime play with our guys today and see how they all match up.
Yeah, they didn't the event wasn't this kind of event back then. You know, again, they just started doing this back in '85, and it was like an afternoon thing. It hardly was televised or anything like that. Now there's a 5 full day of all-star events. It's a whole week of events now. So it gets bigger, but yeah, I would love to see some of those old timers in a home run derby like that.
Yeah. This is fun. Thank you for giving us a look at what's happening. We see so many fans getting on out there. Things really kick off at 8 o'clock, but it didn't stop people from getting there early. I can tell you that much. Chris, again, thank you so much. I want to address our live stream chat. If this is your first time joining me on Philadelphia Live, what's unique about this versus any other news program is we're with you guys on social media. So if you've got a comment, a question, I get to see it in real time. And I asked you guys, any baseball fans in here, rep your team. So very first person, DJ Flux Capacitor. First of all, I love your name. But says Yankee fan here. Then we've got Dom, says go Phils. Adam was responding to Chris, and he says he doesn't think that he ever got to play in the All-Star game, specifically the Home Run Derby. We got another Go Phils. All right, keep them coming. I'll be able to give you guys shout outs throughout the show. Love to see it. Here's an inside view of Citizens Bank Park. We only have this for a little while longer because I did hear that this is like a Netflix exclusive event. So if you guys are looking for the game itself, you guys will have to go to Netflix to watch it, or you can stick around with me. We'll go over your live news, breaking news, all things happening nationally, internationally, and of course, because this is Philadelphia Live, we'll go over our hyper-local news. That is everything happening in Philly, South Jersey, as well as Delaware. Again, that was a live look inside. Again, things get kicked off at 8 o'clock, and we've got a whole bunch more coming up for you. So, in terms of what's coming up, I got to talk to our meteorologists to get ready for the show, and I heard them saying that the weather could actually impact what happens in the Home Run Derby, which is really interesting to me because I was thinking, oh, of course, the heat. No, apparently it's the wind. Let's turn things over to our meteorologist, Scott Williams. Scott, walk me through this. How does the wind play a factor?
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Judea and everyone. Of course, those winds that will be turning more out of the south and west could mean a few more home runs this evening, and we're going to be watching the humidity as well. Now, it's really not that bad today because our dew point temperatures have been hovering right around 60 degrees. So anytime you have dew points right at 60, it starts to feel a little sticky, a little muggy. But for tomorrow, we're talking about dew points climbing into the mid to upper 60s during the day, and then by the evening we could have dew points in the upper 60s, around 70 degrees. So with the higher humidity, that could mean that with winds out of the south and west, that ball is going to be more buoyant and travel a little farther. So that could signal a few more home runs tonight, but even better chances for that as we get toward tomorrow. So of course, temperatures today, we're in the mid 80s. Tomorrow, we're going into the 90s. So that difference in the temperature of the air, as well as those dew points climbing and that wind direction out of the south and west, could mean the ball is going to travel a little farther, especially tomorrow. It will also travel tonight with those winds out of the southwest. Right now, you can see it's 83 degrees. The wind directions out of the south and west. So those left-hand batters, so that is really key as well. So if you're a lefty and you've got the southwest wind and you've got the humidity and you've got those higher dew points, the ball will travel a little farther. So we'll be watching, of course, Bryce Harper for maybe a few more home runs out there for tonight. Now, in terms of the overall forecast, those temperatures currently low 80s in Allentown, low 80s Doylestown as we get toward Exton, Wilmington right around 80 degrees. And as we look at the overall forecast with those dew points, that's the measure of moisture in the air. Those dew points right around 60. So this is the threshold for when it starts to feel a little more muggy outdoors, but it's really still pretty comfortable, all things considered, because those dew points will be climbing for tomorrow. And Wednesday, they peak, and that will be the heat wave peaking as well. Now, in terms of temperatures for that 8 o'clock start of the Home Run Derby, 81 degrees, still looking at that wind out of the south-southwest around 9 miles per hour. And then as we look at the overall forecast for low temperatures tonight, pretty seasonal night, mid to upper 60s. The average low for Philadelphia this time of year, right around 70 degrees, 69 Philadelphia, mid 60s Hamilton over to Wilmington. So looking pretty good, but those temperatures heat up rapidly for your Tuesday. By 7 a.m., 71 degrees. So low 70s go to low 80s by 10 in the morning, and by the afternoon, we're climbing into the low to mid 90s. So that'll start the day one of our 5th heat wave for this week. So the overall temperatures, low to mid 90s out there, 93 Glassboro, 95 in Trenton for tomorrow, hazy sunshine. This is when those feels like temperatures by the afternoon are going to be in the upper 90s to right around 100 degrees. So we've really got to take it easy for tomorrow's All-Star game. We've got lots of events taking place prior to it. The red carpet, of course, in Old City. So remember to stay hydrated out there. It's the same thing as our last heat wave. So we're going to be looking at temperatures tomorrow. Look at this. For 8 o'clock for the All-Star game, we're at 90 degrees. So right now we're in the low 80s, and by 8 o'clock tonight we'll be around 81, 82 degrees. So almost 10 degrees hotter for the All-Star game. So just kind of keep that in mind in terms of what you're going to wear, loose-fitting light-colored clothing, of course. Also remembering to drink lots of water prior to the start of this. So on your way, have that ice cold water handy, and throughout the game. Winds tomorrow out of the south and west around 10 miles per hour as well. Now dew points will likely be higher than what they are right now. So it will feel more like the mid 90s likely by this time tomorrow night. We're still going to be talking about it feeling like 95, 97 degrees despite that temperature by the start of the game right around 90 degrees. So tomorrow night's when those balls really could fly out of the park. Now in terms of the extreme heat, that's back on the radar for Wednesday. I think that's when it really peaks, and that's why we have the extreme heat watch in effect for Wednesday along the I-95 corridor. Immediate suburbs, yet again, high temperatures will likely top out around 100 degrees, but that will be the temperature in the shade, how your body reacts, how you should dress. Yeah, this is what it's going to feel like around those urbanized areas, all of that concrete. We talked about that heat island effect. All of that concrete absorbs all of that heat and kind of holds it in. So yeah, we're looking at those feels like temperatures well into the low triple digits. Now, down the shore, this is where you go to beat the heat. And we're looking at water temperatures climbing to around 77 degrees, looking great for Tuesday, but it's still going to be hot down the shore for Wednesday. That's the peak of this heat, not only inland, but also down the shore. Hazy sunshine, so stay hydrated. Remember that sunscreen as well. Now, in terms of the overall forecast over the next several days, yeah, it's 95 for Tuesday. There's your 101 degree high temperature. Yeah, we've seen that before, right? And then 98 degrees for Thursday, 95 on Friday. Fairly dry conditions, so we're not concerned about storms so much this week. It's really as we get toward the weekend when we see better chances for those showers and thunderstorms. So we always like to say, this heat wave is probably going to end with a bang, and we mean like thunder, lightning, and the threat, yes, again, for some damaging wind gusts and some torrential downpours. So as that heat, that humidity, it builds in the atmosphere, then we get, a little trough or front or something coming through to kind of act as a lifting mechanism, and that will kind of allow those thunderstorms to develop, and then we'll squeeze out all of that moisture. So it really has kind of been a rinse and repeat scenario. So we have the heat, the humidity, then we have the storms, and last week we had those storms that produced this flash flooding event across the area. This same time last Monday, we were talking about those tropical downpours moving through. So that's certainly something we'll watch. Timing is not that great because it looks like it's going to be happening again for the upcoming weekend. So once we get through all of this heat with our 5th heat wave, yeah, we're going to be watching out for those storms popping up, unfortunately, for the upcoming weekend. So a lot of weather to talk about, and as we get toward July 16th, later on this week, that is the halfway mark of meteorological summer. So yeah, we're going to be the halfway mark of meteorological summer. So it's happening fast, Judea. We've had so many events taking place, and we're just trying to like capture the moment. We're trying to soak it all up, but it's like, wow, things are going so fast, right?
No,
it seemed like we were just talking about the PGA. We were just talking about the PGA and FIFA, and now we're already at we were like, we're here at the All-Star.
I imagine how our sports team feels like if our heads are spinning. I don't know how they're keeping any of these games straight. I would be talking about baseball during basketball season, hockey during football. I wouldn't be able to keep it straight. But thank you so much for giving us a look at our forecast. We'll come back to you later because there is a lot that we have to discuss, including you guys out there streaming with me. If you were here in the Philadelphia area this past weekend, you thought maybe Saturday, was it, that you were going to get out and have a good time, and then it was downpour. We had a lot of rain, and then all of a sudden you probably saw on social media that trees were coming down, cars were getting crushed. They're calling it a microburst, a term I've never heard before. I don't know about you guys. I want to turn things over to one of our reporters, Shawnette Wilson. Shawnette, you found yourself at the Southeast Asian market. They got hit pretty badly.
Yeah, Judea, I had never heard of that either, the microburst. So that was pretty interesting just to hear that and, what it really meant for what happened over the weekend. But you're right, we're here at FDR Park in South Philly. Every weekend they have like a food market here, and the Southeast Asian community, holds their specific food market, I think, on Saturdays. So they were hit really hard by that microburst that came through on Saturday. They actually posted on their Facebook page, and we have some of those pictures to show you, just of some of the damage that their food market sustained. They come out here on the weekends and they have tents and they have tables and they have stalls in addition to the food and everything that they're selling here and providing for the community. And that storm came through and they say that it basically wiped them out. I talked to one of the vendors on the phone, and she basically said that it's going to be hard for a lot of these businesses to recover from this, that they pretty much lost everything that they would bring out here on the weekend. So they are dealing with that. But I was actually surprised when we came out here today as well, just driving around, that there are so many huge trees and so much debris down here. Now, I will say this, you're looking at a crew that looks like, I don't know if they're on a break right now, but they've been chopping and sawing all day. And the minute, you come to me to go live, it's like they're on a break. But they have been working hard for a few hours now. You can see it's a Yellowstone landscape. Shout out to them for doing this work. You can see in the background that huge tree that has fallen right near the playground. And this playground, I don't believe it's more than 2 years old. But it fell like almost into the playground property, and they've been working hard to just, chop that up and get that out of here so that families can safely enjoy the playground over there, which families did come out, and they were just kind of like watching all of this cleanup happen. And this isn't the only location. We drove around, like I said, FDR Park, and saw other crews cleaning up. So they are making some progress here. It is just a lot of cleanup to make happen here. But again, we've seen a lot of crews out today around here just trying to get the debris up. This is a very popular place. People come to play pickleball here. They come to walk, to run, to jog, to walk their dogs. Some people sitting out and having picnics. So it's all greenery here, and they just want to make sure that it's safe for people to continue coming out after that weekend storm. So I do want to also say that the city put out an update today. Phila.gov/damage reporter is where they're asking people to report any damage that they have, that they are requesting maybe the city to help them to come out and clean up in their neighborhood. So crews are just busy all over the city today. The Office of Emergency Management, I think, is very important. Also put out today warning people about scams, saying that the city does not charge to come out and do this type of cleanup. So just beware, of people who are maybe in your neighborhood who are offering to help. But just a very busy day here, Judea. And I think a lot of people were just like really surprised to come out here and just find, the damage here at the park. A lot of people I talked to off camera were saying that in their very own neighborhoods, even today, they still have trees that are down on cars, and people are afraid to move the cars because, they don't know, they don't want to make it worse with those huge trees on top of them. But again, just driving around the city today, crews are out, so they are working, it seems, very hard to try to get things back to normal. It is just a lot of work.
I mean, thank you for showing us the workers behind you. We actually just got a message in our live stream chat, someone looking on, and they said thank you so much to everyone. So there is some appreciation out for them doing that hard work back there. And just like you mentioned, it kind of came as a surprise. I mean, yes, we knew that their weather was going to be pretty nasty this past weekend, but even I went out and about earlier in the day, and then I came home and I saw the rain coming down. But it wasn't until I got on social media and saw the pictures and the videos that I realized just how bad it was. So I can only imagine for the people who had planned to get on out there this weekend as well.
And think about it, like people did get out. Like on Saturday, it was like the 100th anniversary of the Ben Franklin, bridge, and they shut down for people to come out and try to enjoy that. And later toward the time where it was going to end, that weather came down, and you could see people were posting on social media. I could see it in the city from where I live. You could see the lightning, and you could just see people trying to scramble off the bridge to safety. And even when I was watching that, I wasn't really thinking in terms of what is this going to look like in the neighborhoods, right? You just see people out enjoying the Ben Franklin Bridge and this celebration, and they're just trying to get out of the rain and of course get away from the lightning. But it didn't dawn on me until the next day when I started to see, go out and around that this was terrible, in a lot of communities. And it wasn't I don't believe a very long lasting thing, but did so much damage. I'll tell you today, Judea, my niece and nephew live in Havertown, and they were in the city with me this morning to go to the All-Star Village. And I had to take them back home. And even out their way, going through West Philly, through Delco to Havertown, there were still so many trees down. I'm talking about on major roads. It's still very hard to get around even in the city right now, because in order to do this type of work that we're seeing here behind me, they've got to shut down roads, especially as, we look at the neighborhoods more so than the park here. So I think it's going to be a couple days before people really start to see some normalcy. There are plenty of people whose streets are just still blocked off to traffic.
Goodness gracious. I mean, you guys pack your patience if you live in these areas.
Yeah.
Try to think about your coworkers and friends and family members who do live out here as well. Give them some grace as they're making their way to any of your plans. Shawnette, thank you for giving us a look at what it's like out there. I know a lot of people actually thought, since it was so bad, that it may have been a tornado, but now we know the term for what happened there. It's called a microburst.
Yeah. Someone said that. Someone said that who I was talking to earlier, that they thought that it felt it seemed like it was a tornado. And I know you have to go, Judea, but one more thing, since we mentioned the Southeast Asian Food Market, if you go to their Facebook page, and this evening, we'll link it to our website as well, but I don't think it's there yet. If you go to their Facebook page, they are also asking for donations just so they can help these vendors, get back up and running. And I think it's a very important thing for people who want to help or can help. They come out here on the weekends, and they are providing all sorts of culture, and food and different things for us to enjoy. And so, they've been hit hard, and they come out here, and, it's just a beautiful thing if you've ever been out to the food markets here. There are a lot of different ones, but it's very nice to experience. So if you have it in your heart to help them out, just go to their Facebook page. They're looking for donations.
And I do have to say, too, this isn't like a rinky-dink festival. A lot of people come out to this, so I have a feeling that their donations are going to come pouring in pretty soon. So again, if you guys would like to, Shawnette mentioned, it's available for you on their Facebook page. Shawnette, thank you so much for giving us this report. We got a lot of big, important stories to bring you on out to. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Jill, one of our reporters, is learning more about this horrible situation. We heard that someone possibly intentionally hit a bicyclist, and that victim is in some pretty serious condition. We'll get into all of that and more with her when we come back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray, and as I mentioned to you before, we bring you breaking news, live news. We also get you caught up to date on your news of the day. So we're based here in Philadelphia. I want to turn things over to one of our reporters, Jill. Jill, I know that during the meeting, we talked about this. You were going to get out to the scene of potentially someone coming after a bicyclist and hitting them. Talk to me a little bit more about what you know.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack coming out of Montgomery County, Judea. Around 8:30 Sunday evening is when this bicycle and car crash happened in a neighborhood. The Abington Township Police Department was dispatched to the 2800 block of Meyer Avenue, that's in Glenside. And like I said, a bicyclist was struck by a car. The bicyclist has been identified as 24-year-old Colin Cassidy, and he was bleeding from the head tonight. He still remains in critical condition. That's according to the affidavit. He was transported to the hospital with significant head trauma. If there's any update on that condition, you'll be the first to know. Now, the person who's being accused is Philip Prince. He's 40 of Glenside. He was taken into custody at the scene, and he's accused of hitting that man with his Jeep. And the charges are attempted murder, aggravated assault by vehicle, and related offenses. According to that affidavit, witnesses that were at the scene with Cassidy, they allege that he was intentionally struck following a dispute. And according to the affidavit, someone identified as BK was interviewed by officials. He said that they were confronted and yelled at by a black male who they're saying is Prince in a Jeep in the area of Garfield Avenue and Jefferson Street. And then he continued to go after them along Meyer Avenue, which is where that collision happened. And then another person in that affidavit is mentioned going by the initials RE. He said Prince's Jeep jumped the curb onto the sidewalk to then strike Cassidy. Now, the DA's office says that 24-year-old victim Cassidy was thrown at least around the area of 100 feet. They're saying like between 90 and 95, so around 100 feet. When it comes to Prince, he has a preliminary hearing coming up July 22nd. Bail is set at $1 million. And coming up at 10, we have some pretty powerful sound. We talked with the lady who called 911. This all transpired in front of her house yesterday around 8:30. And we also talked with someone whose brother is a close friend of the victim. So some powerful sound coming up tonight at 10 and 11. I'm not going to share it right now, so you'll have to come back to Fox 29 during those hours.
You got to keep us wanting for something. There's a lot of craziness in the details that you just gave us right then. I mean, talking about the car possibly jumping the curb to hit this kid, that's a lot. I know you explained that maybe there was some sort of argument or whatever that was happening. Did the affidavit go more into detail of what even led to that?
The affidavit does mention, like I mentioned, two of the witnesses that are talked about. There is another person who mentions that the man, the 40-year-old man, was chasing the kid over a stolen bike of some sort. But I mean, this is all allegedly because he still has to go through the process of the preliminary hearing and everything. But that's what it's being accused, that there's some type of bike situation. But yeah, it sounds like he followed them for not just that street, but it happened on another street initially and then led to the crash in that area.
Okay. We'll be looking out for you at 10 o'clock and again at 11 with any other details that you're able to bring us, especially those interviews. For those of you guys who are streaming with us, if you're looking up for that, you're going to go to watch either Fox 29 on your television, fox29.com/live, or you can join us on the free Fox Local app. Jill, again, thank you for giving us what you've got so far. Like I said, there has been a lot that has happened today. I want to run through real quick. If you guys have or have not been keeping up with this business with Strait of Hormuz, President Donald Trump has made some serious claims of what he wants to do against Iran, and he says that he may just start tonight. So I heard earlier that he announced the reinstatement of a blockade in Iran, specifically over the Strait of Hormuz, and it would include a 20% toll on any eligible cargo for safe passage. So more specifically, this blockade would target Iranian ships and any of their customers. Other countries should be able to run through freely. But the toll is intended to cover some costs for ensuring safety and security in the region. The announcement that the president made comes after an Iranian attack on a container ship in the Strait of Hormuz. So he says that's not going to fly, and he wants to show that the U.S. is not playing around. So earlier today, like literally within the last hour and some change, President Donald Trump actually held a press conference with the media. Reporters were all over this. They wanted to know a little bit more about what this blockade really means. What does he want to do to Iran? He says attacks on Iran could continue as early as tonight. Take a listen.
Just on Iran, you have said now to Congress that we are back at war. How long do you expect this to take, and what's the legal basis?
Take what?
The war.
Well, I think it's going very fast. We've demolished their military. We're hitting them very hard. We had a deal yesterday or the day before yesterday. It was all done. And then they broke up that deal immediately because they found out there was something in the deal they didn't like. And they're wired differently, and we're not going to put up with it. We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up just controlling the whole thing. And what they're doing is being very foolish, very stupid, and they've treated people horribly. They've killed 52,000 protesters so far that we can determine. It might be more than that, but 52,000 protesters have been killed. And it's really a terrible situation. But we'll have it under control very quickly. Yeah.
Okay, so let's run back over what exactly happened after the president made this announcement. Oil prices rose about 5% earlier this morning. But it seems that hasn't really impacted our gas prices, because here across Philly, South Jersey, Delaware, we've actually held pretty steady according to AAA. So as you can see, the average price for regular unleaded gas here in Philadelphia area is $3.95. If you guys are seeing cheaper, please let me know, and let me know which neighborhood. Then we've got South Jersey with an average of $3.89, and same thing, if you're seeing cheaper gas, let me know. And then last but not least, we've got Delaware up on the screen for you guys, $3.83. And over the last day, really hasn't been much of a change. We're talking about just a couple of cents. And that's a big deal, because in other days when President Donald Trump has made an announcement on attacking Iran, continuing strikes, or going back on the ceasefire deal, we've seen the stock market like crash. We've also seen gas prices skyrocket, or just being like really in flux. So it's interesting to me to see that he made this announcement today. He had that press conference not too long ago, and it seems that we're still doing all right. I guess the real test will be where are we at tomorrow. So we'll keep our eyes on AAA just to see what's going on there. And last but not least, I see that there is looks like a vigil going on. Earlier today, I heard that there was a large protest that had gathered together. So we do have some activists, some advocates in the area. This is Maine that you guys are taking a look at, Biddeford, Maine, where a federal immigration officer actually shot and killed a motorist, again, in Maine. This happened today. This is actually the second time within a week that ICE agents have used deadly force, and at least the 9th time since President Donald Trump began his immigration crackdown. So again, earlier today, we saw a large protest. People were very, very passionate. They had some signs with even derogatory language on it, but it looks like now we are seeing more of what feels like a vigil to me. They seem very, very peaceful as they're gathering, just making their voices be heard. I want to see if we can take a listen in, because it does seem like there are maybe speakers or maybe even performers who are keeping the crowd together. Okay, they may be between speakers at this point in time, but you are getting a live look at what's happening out there. Now, the man that advocates say was killed during this incident is a 26-year-old from Colombia, and it's not quite clear what exactly took place. I can tell you that local news outlets are reporting ICE had tried to stop a vehicle. It was being driven by someone, more specifically this 26-year-old from Colombia. And then they're also saying that that vehicle, the driver, tried to escape from the scene, and they ended up discharging their weapon. So again, not very clear details on what took place there, but there are a lot of people who are upset and a lot of people who are trying to use their voice out there in Maine. We'll keep an eye on it, and I'll try to get you more information, especially if this is something that you guys are interested in. Let me know in the comment section and we may be able to come back. Okay, wait, we've got some people commenting on the gas prices. I appreciate you guys for weighing in. We've got Contrarian Bacon, I love this name too, $3.13 out in Detroit. You guys keep letting me know where you're seeing cheaper gas prices, whether it is in state or out of state. I'm just interested in seeing what America is paying to get around these days. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk to you guys about this parasite that's been making its way through all of our guts. It's a diarrhea-inducing microscopic parasite, and I'll talk to you about how you can wash and clean your veggies and your fruits so that you can stay safe, and also how to make sure that you are keeping up with your doctors in case you are infected. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray, and I've got a question for you. How many of you guys wash your fruits and your vegetables before you actually consume them? And don't lie to me, because the numbers coming out of the CDC will tell me the truth. According to new numbers coming in, the Cyclosporiasis parasite, I have to say that name 3 times fast. The Cyclosporiasis parasite is continuing to make its way across the U.S., and apparently it's also in some other countries too. Actually, in the past, most of our cases here in the U.S. have come from fruits and vegetables that were imported from other countries, which I found interesting because a lot of people are concerned about our farmers, our agriculturalists here in the U.S. Either way it goes, no matter where you're buying your fruit from, or your vegetables, I suggest that you wash them thoroughly under, I would say, warm water. But also I see some of you guys in the chat are saying that you use baking soda and vinegar. I also use vinegar. I soak my stuff in vinegar before I use it. They're also suggesting that you just go ahead and cook any fruits and veggies. That'll probably be the easiest way to kill the parasite, which, by the way, you guys, is microscopic. So it's not going to be something that you see crawling around in your strawberry water, anything like that. This is not something that is seen to the naked eye. Now, most of the cases here in the U.S. are coming from New York, but we're also seeing some here in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey. Of course, you also saw that map where it's showing by 17 states total here in the U.S. That seem to be the problem here. So take a look at it there. You see California, you see Colorado, Kansas, Texas, Louisiana. Like, a lot of us are not getting by without getting burned here. And unfortunately, this parasite causes explosive diarrhea. We're talking about the watery stuff. So you'll know if you have it, like within the first couple of days. I believe they say anywhere between 2 to 14 days after consuming an infected fruit or vegetable, you would start to exhibit some symptoms. So you may experience loss in your appetite. You may start losing some weight. You may experience abdominal cramping or maybe even bloating. Also nausea or even a low-grade fever. All of these are symptoms that you may have contracted the parasite, and if you do, the CDC is saying just go to your doctor. They can prescribe you some antibiotics that'll get rid of it in a pinch. If you don't, though, they do say this could run its course. Only thing is, it may take a couple of weeks, maybe even months to run through you, and it's possible that it can come back. So if you want to nip it in the bud the first time around, I suggest you go to your doctor. Now here's what to look out for. Bagged salad mixes, we're talking about the pre-cut stuff. I love my kits. I buy pre-cut salad all the time because I hate being in the kitchen chopping. But, you know, they're saying stay away from that. Just go ahead and buy the actual head of lettuce or a cabbage or whatever it may be. But again, rinse it thoroughly. They're also saying fresh cilantro, fresh basil, raspberries, because there are all those grooves that it can get stuck into, snow peas and green onions, scallions. Those are the things that you want to watch out for. For some of those vegetables, it may seem, this may seem normal, like what you should do. Get rid of the outermost layers of the vegetable, and then go ahead and wash it under warm water. But they also say any of those vegetables and those fruits that I mentioned are most safe when cooked. Okay, so let's move on. Maybe you guys saw Pennsylvania has passed their budget, and we're talking about a $50.8 billion budget. That is huge. Governor Josh Shapiro actually signed it earlier today. So the General Assembly, they passed this billion-dollar state budget, and there are a couple of different things that they say they will be funding, and I just wanted to go through some of them with you guys. If you're looking for more, I suggest you go to our website, which is fox29.com, or even the free Fox Local app, and you'll find an article that pretty much lists out everything that this money will go towards. So in terms of public education, we're looking at $565 million designated for adequacy and property tax equity funding. We're also looking at $100 million for public school safety and mental health grants. And then it looks like $41 million for early intervention services, which include language establishing Pennsylvania pre-K counts eligibility for regional intermediate units. We've also got some money going to post-retirement pension adjustments. We've got plenty of money going towards mass transit, skill games, and even regulatory mandates, and quite a bit going toward mental health and healthcare funding. We're talking about $41.2 billion here. Excuse me, million. Let me re-say that because I want to make sure that we're on the same page. For mental health and healthcare funding, $41.2 million statewide for those mental health services. So again, if you're looking for more details on where all of this money will be going, we've got a full article up available for you, and it's broken down pretty well. Shout out to our digital team for putting that together, so take a look there. Now, at the top of the show, I was talking to you all about weather and some pretty bad damage that some people, especially out in West Philly, actually sustained during a Saturday storm that kind of took us all by surprise. And it just so happens that FEMA actually announced that quite a bit of money was coming our way here in Pennsylvania. So is this lucky? Maybe. FEMA approved nearly $25 million for mid-Atlantic cities, and it does include us, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, here in Pennsylvania. So $13 million will go toward the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center for management costs as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. But there's also some money headed our way to reduce and prevent future disaster damage, which again is interesting because of what just took place this weekend. So over $830,000 going to Pennsylvania for Tropical Storm Debbie recovery. If you guys remember that a couple summers ago, it was rough. And last but not least, for severe weather victims, if your power gets knocked out. Remember, 4th of July weekend, a lot of you guys lost power. That meant any food that you may have had in your refrigerator probably spoiled. We hear that SNAP benefits will be made available for you guys. All you've got to do is within 10 days of that natural disaster that knocked out the power, you've got to reach out and find your local county assistance office. You can do that by going to dhs.pa.gov/SNAP. You can look on there for your local county assistance office. From there, you want to call the statewide customer service center or fill out an affidavit online. They try to make it pretty simple. Again, you've got to apply within 10 days of food loss to prove that you were affected. And of course, this would be for any household that already receives SNAP benefits. So this would just be extra money coming your way to put food back in your refrigerator and back on your table. So I just wanted to let you know that you do have resources available to you all. Now I want to bring you back out to Maine real quick. Remember, I mentioned that there seems to be a vigil, or more so like a protest, kind of combined, happening. They say that a young man was killed out in Maine. They say he was a Colombia native who was here in the U.S. I want to let you guys take a listen, and I'll get you some more details after.
Could possibly be said to capture a moment as grave and as horrifying and as disgusting as what we have seen here in our community, just blocks from where I live. And there are so few words that truly capture what so many of us are feeling. There's so many emotions. For me, I put this moment into context by my own experience living and growing up right here in the city of Biddeford. And I think it's important that we capture just for a second what this community is. This is a community that was built by immigrants. Those mills that stand in the center of our city were built by immigrants. My grandparents came here in 1964 with my dad from Quebec to work in those textile mills with other immigrants. We are a community of immigrants. We have always been a community of immigrants. We will always be a community of immigrants, no matter what we face, no matter what they try to do. We will continue to be a community that was founded by, built by, for immigrants. Whether the Franco-Americans who called this place home for many decades, or the Albanians who also were here. And one of the things that I always find so inspiring is if you go to Woodlawn Cemetery here in Biddeford, there's a part of the cemetery where you'll distinctly know the gravestones because they're all turned towards Mecca. Biddeford had a large Albanian population when these textile mills were roaring. And we also were home to the first mosque in the United States. So we were French Catholic, we were Albanian Muslim, we are Albanian Muslim today, we are French Catholic today, we are many things today because we have always welcomed the other. We have always been welcoming to our neighbors, and we will not stop. We will not stop. This is my message to the federal government. Get out of our state. Get out of our city. We welcome the other here. We welcome immigrants here. We are a welcoming state. We will not change. We will not change for Donald Trump or anyone else. This is a place that welcomes our neighbors. And just one final message that I think Hannah Pingree made this note at the very end of what she had just said. I know that there are our neighbors, many of our neighbors who are scared today. And they've been scared for months, let's be frank. There are children, especially, who I'm sure are feeling like this is a big thing. This is all-encompassing. This is all they can think of. They go to school with anxiety. They go outside with anxiety. They're not sure who to trust in our communities, and that is a very sad thing. I know, I remember, I'm a little young, so I do remember what it was like to be a kid. And I remember how things can feel so heavy.
All right, you guys, I want to pop back in here and give you guys some context to what we're listening to and what this whole case is all about. And I do have to warn you that we've heard differing statements throughout the day, so it is a little difficult to understand what really truly took place there. I think this is going to be one of those things that just gets drawn out for a couple of days, maybe even weeks and months while it's an investigation, and hopefully we get even more information after that. So the young man who was killed was in his 20s, and they say he was from Colombia, but he was living here in the U.S. His family says that he was getting out of the house to get to go to work. He had entered his vehicle and then was off. ICE officials say that they were there to execute a warrant, and that it's possible, earlier today they said it was possible, but that this young man is the person they were looking for. They thought when he had brought his car out and was leaving that he was using his vehicle to harm them and to cause harm to the greater public. So one official says that he then took out his weapon, fired a shot that ultimately ended up killing this young man. So Secretary Markwayne Mullin did walk that statement back earlier. He had told Fox News that it was incorrect information and that this particular warrant was not for the young man who ended up being killed in this situation. So again, differing details. I don't think that we're going to get a full, cleaner story until the investigation continues. That could take days, weeks, months, maybe even longer than that. But so far today, that's the information that I am able to report from you guys all the way from Maine. Now, bring things back here to Philadelphia. I know a lot of you guys who are watching with us right now, it's about that time. In about a minute and 30 seconds, you want to see Bryce Harper or Kyle Schwarber like hit as many home runs as far as possible. I know that's what you came to see. Unfortunately, if you want to watch that happen, you got to go to Netflix. But what you will be able to do here with me on Philadelphia Live, we'll go over some behind the scenes stuff, because our anchors from the Fantastic Sports Show actually had an incredible clearance where they got to go behind the scenes and talk to some of your favorite players, some of your favorite legends in MLB. And we'll get into that, share some of their interviews with you all. We'll also keep you up to date on who's in the lead. And then we've got a question of the night for you guys. I'll show you real quick, but I actually want to ask you so you guys can interact with me later on. But our question is, what would you do if you happen to catch a home run ball? Would you keep it, give it to a kid, throw it back, or would you do something else? Tell me about it in the comment section. We are live right now on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I want to hear from you guys. We will be right back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. You're taking a live look at Citizens Bank Park. It's going down here. If you're looking for the All-Star activities, this is the station for you. But if you want to see the Home Run Derby itself, you're going to have to go to Netflix. However, we have a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff coming up for you guys. So I'm taking a look in our live stream chat, and you guys are talking about who you want to see win. And I see quite a few of you guys saying you want Schwarber to take it on home. I heard they get $1 million, by the way, you guys. And then even like the runner-up, the people after that, they still get some money too. Now, I didn't know we had cold hard cash at play here. I thought it was just doing it for the love of the game. But tell me again, we are live streaming where you guys can interact with me in real time. Who do you want to see win tonight? We've got two Phils, playing tonight. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber. Our sports team actually got to talk to them right before they went out to the big game. I want to let you guys listen in. We'll start with Kyle Schwarber.
That's always our goal, right? Like our goal always even, I don't care, it's not even just here for us. I think it could be any football player in any organization just to hold up a trophy, right? Like you want to be part of that. I've got to experience it, and it wasn't a full season of it, right? I just got to show up for the last couple games and just help out. But to have that, the parade and to have the remembrance, right? Like that's amazing. And to have a fan base here that cares so much and has a lot of history, and you want to cement a lot of really great things that we've done here since I've been here. We've done so many great things, and we really want to make sure that we can cement that down for forever.
And how much do you intend on taking in just the atmosphere tonight, tomorrow, with the fans and with the way that this ballpark's going?
Oh, definitely going to take it in. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be exciting, and just happy to be a part of this and get to the Home Run Derby tonight.
Kyle, question for you. What if you weren't playing baseball? What would you be doing?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know.
Thank you.
If I wasn't playing baseball, what would I be doing right now? I don't know. I guess I'd probably be coaching baseball somewhere.
Okay. There were no careers that interest you? Or
I mean, baseball interested me. So, probably something like that.
Just coaching, you think?
Coaching, probably.
Okay.
Thank you. You and Murakami, you and Munetaka Murakami are with the same Texas Sports. So what kind of potential do you see in him?
Yeah, I feel like that he's been, the time that he's been on the field, he's been doing a fantastic job. And I think the best part about that is that, there were some doubts of him when he came over, and he's been proving people wrong, and I think that that's awesome. And I hope that he continues that. And I want to see him here and to be named an All-Star. I think it's amazing, and can't wait to see how his career plays out.
So you guys against tonight. How do you expect for the game?
The Home Run Derby? Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it ends up with me or Bryce in the finals, but we're excited for this opportunity, excited for it to be here at our ballpark.
All the since you were non-tendered by the Cubs, all the home runs, all the winning, has it put 500 homers? Has it put even the Hall of Fame in the distant view? Is it something you want?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any ball player would say that they don't want to not be in the Hall of Fame or something like that. But it's like, for me and the way my brain works, I just can't really think about that. Where I just think and I think a lot of it gets brought up from when I was in Chicago, right? Like focusing on our group and focusing on winning and try to win that day, and trying to do everything you can to your ability to try to help the team win. If that's a great at bat, if that's an extra base hit, if that's running the bases great or something else.
Okay, I have to put a pause on him talking, because I asked you guys who did you want to see win, and I thought a lot of you guys were saying Kyle Schwarber. And then the live stream chat went crazy, and it was like, Bryce Harper, Bryce Harper, Bryce Harper, Bryce Harper's going to win. He's taking home the money. So let me show you guys what he had to say right before the Home Run Derby.
I think I put that out there pretty early, that I wasn't sure I was going to do it because I wasn't going to be able to find somebody I was comfortable with. Dino threw to me in the WBC. hit some pretty good homers against them in BP. So just trying to look forward to it tonight. Just hopefully you can hit my barrel a little bit and we can have some fun.
I think the BP, it actually messed up your swing. I know Aaron Judge thought it did when he did it once, and Bryce talking to him thinks it was nothing to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think your swing's pretty much your swing. When I get out to BP, the Philly riders will tell you I want to launch. That's the only time I go out there is to launch and feel that. So I don't think it messes you up as much. But each guy's different, so it could mess somebody else up compared to somebody else.
Bryce, when you won this before,
KP outside, what's the strategy for the season compare the way you do?
Yeah, it started in 2015. Matt Williams, he kind of told me, hey, like, don't come outside anymore. You don't need to. Like, let's keep your swing simple, keep it planned out. And so ever since then, I kind of started doing it. There's a lot of guys that do it nowadays. Kind of save your body. Wind blowing in, what do you try to do more? You try to swing harder because the wind's blowing in, and you just don't find success. So there's always an end game in the cage. You know when you hit a ball good, you know when you don't. So just try to keep it simple like that.
What's the furthest you've hit out here in BP?
Like homer-wise? I've gone off the third deck, but that's about it. I mean, I've gone over Ashburn Alley.
Is that possible?
What, Ashburn Alley? Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Bryce, when you won this event before, you were in your home ballpark in DC in 2018. How much different is it competing in your home ballpark?
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of fun. I think obviously doing it in DC, it was a blast. I had a great time. When you hit a ball where it's going to go and how far it's going to go. So I think that's a good one. The elements of your ballpark. Obviously, DC is a very hitters-friendly ballpark to left center more than right center into the red porch. So I didn't really think about it at that time, but just trying to hit balls far and see where they go. But it's always fun to do it in your home ballpark, so I'm excited to do it tonight.
It's so rare to get to do it with a teammate, Kyle being in it as well. You guys were in the finals that year. What do you think that'll be like in this ballpark with a teammate?
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I think, I've said it to Schwartz. He said it to me, like, if I don't win it, I want him to win it and vice versa, obviously. So I think we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the show is going to be good. There's a lot of guys in this derby that hit the ball really far and have a great chance. So I think we're all looking forward to it.
They've been tinkering with the format. If they came to you as a champ and a guy who's done it, what would you tell them about what plays and what doesn't for this event?
I would keep the time perspective on it. For me, it took me a little bit to get used to it or kind of get into a groove or a roll. So I think that's the one thing that's going to play part for me is just trying to get on in a roll early just because you do have only 20 swings or whatever it is. So, but I do like the time perspective on it.
And lastly, looking ahead to the second half, you guys got on a roll. Obviously, the break comes whenever it does. How do you stay hot and get moving again to catch Atlanta in the second half?
Yeah, I think just starting pitching. I think our starting pitching has been very good for us all year, especially once we got Wheels back. I think everything kind of fell into place. So our lineup, pretty deep right now as well. I expect we'd probably make some moves to, make us that much better. Our division's tough. I mean, everybody's playing well right now, from the Nats to, to the Braves to the Marlins. So it's going to be a hunt till the end, and we're excited to kind of be that second team, going after Atlanta right now. Atlanta's got a great organization, great team. They always do. So it should be a lot of fun.
Bryce, you talked about wanting to play in the Olympics, but logistically, with it being in the middle of the year, do you think it could work possibly for you guys to be able to do it?
Yeah, I think it'll happen. I don't think it won't happen, to tell you the truth. I think that's a big thing for baseball. If you want to grow our game internationally, which they do, it being in LA, I think it helps a lot. So I think, I think we got a good chance of it happening in 2018.
It always kills me how level-headed our players are. Like, I'm always looking for them to start showboating like the football players do, and they're all just really chill, really cool, and maybe that's how they are able to play the way they play. So again, the Home Run Derby got started at 8 o'clock. It is now 8:11, so we are well underway. I'll keep you updated on what the score looks like, who comes out on top. I did see more of you guys enter our live stream chat to talk about who you think is taking it home, and I saw quite a few of you guys say Ben Rice from the Yankees. So he's pretty young, he's got a baby face, but you guys think that he can do it too. Let me know, continue, tell me in our comment section. Meanwhile, I've got a big question on the board for you guys. This is our question of the night, and I want to let you know also how you guys can interact with me, so let's put it up for them. All right, take a look. What would you do if you caught a home run ball? So let's say you go to the Derby or actually literally any game. What would you do? Are you keeping it? Are you giving it to the kid next to you? Are you throwing it back on the field or other? And I wanted you guys to leave a comment. So it looks like 66% of you say you're keeping it. I understand. It's a souvenir. It came to me. The baseball gods chose me. It would be crazy of me not to keep it. But then some of you guys say, 22% of you to be specific, that you would give it to a kid. And I guess, okay, wait, numbers going down. I guess the rest of you said whatever to those kids. Absolutely not. I got it. I'm keeping it. And then only 4% of you guys said you would throw it back. And I found that interesting because I actually think that here in Philadelphia, we've proven that it's bad luck to throw it back on the field. That's at least what I saw somewhere. I read it somewhere on the internet. That's a thing. But, you know, let me know in the comment section. Also, you guys can vote with us. This is on fox29.com/go-vote. You can leave a comment, tell me what you all think, or just go ahead and put a vote up on the board, and then I'll be able to share it with our audience right here. And then one more question for you guys. It's not on our question of the night, but it's just one that I came up with and I was really interested in. If you could bring back any one of your favorite legends, we're talking about way back in the day, maybe even before they even had these all-star games, the home run derby, who would you want to see in their prime play with the guys today? Who do you think could actually win and come out on top? So I chose Hank Aaron, but I'm wondering what you guys think. Again, let us know on our live stream chat. Oh my gosh, so many of you guys are joining us on TikTok alone. I'm getting excited. Oh, Joe says Barry Bonds. That was a good choice. Oh, and for everybody who keeps asking about where they'll be able to watch the Derby, it's on Netflix, but we're bringing you guys behind the scenes coverage over here and also going to keep you guys updated on the score just in case maybe you don't have Netflix, but you still want to know all of the things. Okay, somebody said Mike Trout. Somebody else said Barry Bonds. Let's be for real. A-Rod, Mike Piazza. It's funny that somebody said A-Rod. Before we move on, do we have our next reporter still? No. Okay. So it's funny that somebody said that they would like to see Alexander Rodriguez because it just so happens that our sports team caught him down on the field near the mound. He talked a little bit about this all-star game, the home run derby, how he feels about Philadelphia itself, and I think you guys are going to be interested. This is an exclusive interview. No one else was there but us. Take a listen.
All right, Alex, you were a 14-time All-Star, but only one of those times you got to play the All-Star game in the ballpark that was your home park at the time. What do you remember about that, and how special will that be for the 6 Phillies who get to do that this year?
Well, what I remember most, Scott, is that my first All-Star game was basically 30 years ago today, right here in Philly. And it was a place where I met my childhood hero and was his teammate for the first time, Cal Ripken Jr., which was awesome. Of course, it wasn't in this beautiful park. It was a turf, which was very famous and had a lot of great history for the Philly fans. But there's nothing like playing your All-Star game in your home field in front of these great fans. These are some of the most passionate, smartest fans of sports, and they're playing well. They're being led now by Don Mattingly. They have Harper, they have Schwarber, 50 home runs between them. It's going to be a very exciting ball game tomorrow, and even a more exciting second half of the season.
You played in the 2009 World Series in this ballpark. The fans at that time were not really cheering for you, but the passion here, you talked about it. You've been here for playoff games in the World Series, covering it with Fox. Talk about that and what kind of atmosphere you expect this to be for the Home Run Derby tonight as well as the game tomorrow.
Well, I just think they're not only some of the most passionate fans in baseball, I think they're some of the most passionate, smartest, dedicated fans in all of sports around the world. And 2009 was no different. We had the privilege of playing here. They had a great team, and we won in 6. But it took our best effort. And right here in this ballpark, probably the most intimidating, most incredible place to play at home, or like us, we were the road warriors. But it was nasty and it was cool.
The Home Run Derby tonight. 2 Phillies obviously are going to be the ones cheering the loudest, getting the loudest cheers here. Schwarber, Harper. Give me kind of a rundown, a breakdown, if you will, of all the guys in the Home Run Derby and really who you like to possibly win it tonight.
Well, I always like lefties for the most part, and good news for Phillies. They have 2 great lefties in Schwarber and Harper. They have now over 50 home runs combined. Also keep an eye on Caminero. This guy's a guy that has as good as bat speed, and the sound just comes off differently off his bat. So those are the 3 names I'll be watching for tonight.
and the game tomorrow. Tell me what you're kind of looking for with that. Christopher Sanchez obviously getting the start here, first starting pitcher for the Phillies to have in a game since Roy Halladay. What are you seeing out of him and for the Phillies in general that get to participate here?
Well, I think there's nothing cooler than being the starting pitcher in your home park for an All-Star game. Sanchez gets the ball tomorrow. He's a 3-pitch guy. He holds runners on well. He fields his position. He's a great athlete. He's a fantastic competitor. And I think he's made beautifully, tailor-made for tomorrow night right here in this ballpark.
All right, last question is about the second half of the season. Phillies and Braves seem like they're going to be in a dogfight. Perhaps, I guess it'll come down to who has the better trade deadline. What's your prediction for the second half and how close that fight could be for this division title?
I think it's going to be an incredible fight for the last, say 50, 70 games of the year. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the Phillies, for me, are the team to watch. And they're to watch because since Don Manley took over, they basically have the best record in the sport. Manley has them rolling. You also have Dombrowski, who's one of the best baseball operation men in the whole sport. He's a deal maker. And Middleton, who's behind, who has deep pockets, the owner of the Phillies. I would expect them to be in a great position to make a big move and make them the favorites of the National League going up against the Dodgers.
Awesome stuff.
All right, so that was one of our reporters from the sports team giving you guys a look at what's going on out there. That was Scott Grayson asking Alexander Rodriguez the hard-hitting questions. So for those who said that they would love to see A-Rod as their legend who would come back and play in his prime, like with the players now, they think that he would be able to take it on home. That was for you guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, I want to get into all things sports. So here in Philly, we have been going FIFA World Cup crazy. And it doesn't matter that people aren't even playing in matches here anymore because at the Fan Festival, we still got a lot of performances coming up. And they're all free. We'll get into it and more when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. If you have just now joined us on any of our live streaming chats across social media, I do want to let you know if you're looking for the Home Run Derby, you're going to find that on Netflix. They have the exclusive streaming rights. But we will be showing you guys behind the scenes, everything that you need to know, and we'll be keeping up with the score to let you guys know who comes out on top. And keep putting your predictions in the live stream chat. We've got some Schwarber fans, we've got some Harper fans, we've got some people, I'll call you guys traders, who say you want to see someone who's not on the Phillies team actually come out on top, which is really interesting to me, but whatever. You're welcome here too. We're going to talk to you guys about all things sports though. So, you know, the FIFA World Cup it's not a thing of the past just yet. We still have, I believe, 2 more big games before the ultimate. And here in Philadelphia, we still have plenty of performances, activities for you to get on out to. So out in Atlanta, I hear that there has been like this overthrow of drone captures and seizures. They say that they've actually taken in like more than 600 drones that have tried their best to fly over Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is now Atlanta Stadium. And officials, including the FBI, say you can't do that. So one of our reporters, Fox News' Asher Red, actually went out to Atlanta, trying to figure out what all the craziness is all about and how they're trying to stop it. So take a listen.
When it comes to drones, we are part of the enforcement arm of the FAA restriction that is in place for the area.
The FBI's Atlanta field office has seized 86 drones so far near World Cup venues.
We have to treat all of them as if they are a threat.
Tens of thousands of soccer fans attend each World Cup game, so the FBI wants to keep unknown drones far away from stadiums.
We don't want the game to be impacted because a hobbyist couldn't control their drone and it landed right when one of our star players was getting ready to score a goal.
There's different ways that you can use to weaponize these drones, right? So we're operating in a proactive manner.
But law enforcement says most of the people caught flying drones around the World Cup have been hobbyists with no bad intentions.
In some cases, they just recently bought the drone just for FIFA to get some of the cool footage that they want to put up on their social media.
The Atlanta Police Department says their drone mission is focused on surveillance from above.
So what we want to do is give our command staff a view that they can't get from the ground.
And we got to look at how it all works, with the Atlanta Police Department flying some of its drones from the back of an SUV using a computer and a PlayStation controller. These drones take off from docking stations around the city.
It's going to cut down time. We're going to get there quick, and then you're going to get an aerial perspective of what you can't see on the ground.
APD's drone team has completed 1,400 flights and logged 550 flight hours since the World Cup started.
Some people don't even do that in years or haven't even reached those numbers in the life of their drone unit.
We train for the environment. We live here, so we know what to expect.
And I've seen it myself, not over FIFA World Cup matches itself, but I've seen the drones over the fan festival, which seems to be okay as long as you check in with law enforcement. They don't seem to be taking down those drones, but it's just been interesting seeing, like I said, about 600 out in Atlanta have already been confiscated. And I just wonder, like, what happens? Do you get your $1,000 drone back eventually? Do you have to pay a fine? Do you go to jail? Like, I just wonder what really happens to you all. Now, keep in mind, we're keeping up with the Home Run Derby in the background. I'll be able to bring you guys behind the scenes coverage and also let you know what the score is. It looks like they are just getting underway, though, with Wilson Contreras actually at the mound. All right, now back to the FIFA World Cup. If you guys are interested in getting out to some of these free events here in Philadelphia, there are quite a few that I want to talk to you all about. First and foremost, tonight, the All-American Rejects are performing. They actually started at 7 p.m., but this doesn't close until 9. So there's plenty of time for you to still get out and have a good time. We're only at 8:25 right now, so if you live nearby, I feel like it's worth it. Now, tomorrow, we've got the France versus Spain match. There's a free watch party if you want to get on out there, meet new people, bring your old people with you. I would definitely suggest, because it's been so hot, definitely bring a fan with you guys. I would also suggest bringing a blanket so you can sit down on the ground and have a good time. On the 15th, we've got the England versus Argentina match watch party. And I'm just going to let you know right now, both the England fans and the Argentina fans are crazy. So brace yourselves. And then we've got free performances after that that'll round out the week. And I just, real quick, I gotta give a shout out to BB Rexa, because when I saw that she actually agreed to come on out here and perform, like, that is insane. So the Fan Fest people here in Philadelphia have really been making us proud. I went out and saw the Leon performance. I don't know why his last name is escaping me real quick. Thank you, Thomas. You guys probably know him from Victorious, but he makes so much music. He is insanely talented, a credible musician, and he was out here in Philadelphia. He had a performance for probably, I would say, maybe performed for about an hour or so. So it was worth the trek out to Lemon Hill. And again, do I have to mention that all of this stuff is free. So earlier today, President Donald Trump held a meeting at the White House. He invited all of the IndyCar drivers to, help him make an announcement about Freedom 250. He says that if you thought the UFC cage match was crazy, when he brought it to the South Lawn in the White House, you haven't seen anything yet. He's going to do something even greater with the race car drivers. Take a listen.
Roger with me, 120 Indianapolis 500s, that's not bad. He was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom by me when he won 17, and he just kept winning. It's not supposed to work that way, right? We thought he stopped, but he won, and he's amazing. He's been my friend for a long time, but I'm thrilled to be here with some of the most extraordinary figures in the history of motorsports and any sport. If you think about it, as we count down to the Freedom 250 Grand Prix, this will be like no other race ever. I don't think anything will ever top what we're going to be having. It just happened with UFC. It got the highest ratings of any fight in history. This will get the highest ratings of any such race. It'll be one of the most unforgettable racing events the world has ever seen. And we have the most talented people. These people have a lot of courage on my right. I don't want to do what they did. You could teach me, but it still takes something special, right? I know every one of you. What a great job you've done. I want to thank Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duff, who's a phenomenal guy. He's done a great job. Doing a great job. And the very, very legendary Roger Penske, who is, there's nobody like him, I can't imagine, in the history of racing or maybe any other sport, to be honest with you. Roger Penske, the president of Penske Corporation. Bud Denker, I want to introduce Bud. Thank you very much, Bud. What a great job. CEO of Fox Sports, Eric Shanks. Thank you very much, Eric. It's going to get a lot of rating. Are you prepared for this kind of rating? I don't know. It's going to be a big rating you're going to have. The president of General Motors, Mark Royce, and thank you. Say hello to Mary and everybody. She's a fantastic person. It's a great company. It's a hot company. We just ordered a lot of Escalades for security purposes, and we do a lot of business with General Electric, and they're actually going now in the weapons making business, and I think you do better with that than you did even in the cars. So I want to thank you very much, Mark. And incredible IndyCar drivers, Alex Palou, Felix Rosenquist, and David Malukas. And I've watched all three of you recently do very well. Thank you, very well. Better you than me. I don't want to go 250 miles an hour with a 2 inches separating my car. I don't want to do that. But what you've done was incredible. The last couple of races. Unprecedented events will take place next month, right here in our nation's capital on August 22nd and 23rd. It'll be an awesome display of American patriotism and raw horsepower and ingenuity. You're going to see cars at the level that they've never been at before, with cars racing more than 190 miles and even higher than that down Pennsylvania Avenue. It wasn't exactly designed for that, but what Sean Duffy's done with these incredible, brilliant people is really amazing. It's going to be a sight for the ages. It really will be something special. And they're going to go all around the National Mall at speeds that are not quite, if we did that during the regular day, I think people would be put in jail perhaps for the rest of their lives. It wasn't supposed to be that way, but it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. And this is the first racing event of its kind in Washington, D.C.'s history, happening as part of our great celebration of the 250th anniversary of American freedom. The American people are invited to come watch this once-in-a-lifetime total event. And Roger and General Motors and Fox and everybody else, I will say it, it's free. They thought maybe we could, they get so much money. This is a ticket. You're probably having second thoughts. You said, well, we could have made a fortune. No, it's free, totally free. And it's something they're doing for the country. The country's doing incredibly well. We've never done this well. We're respected all over the world now. And respected like never before. I was telling Roger before, we have $19.2 trillion being invested in the United States of America by other people and countries. No country in the world has ever had anything like that. And plants and factories and everything's being right now built as we speak, being built all over the country. There's never been any country that's as hot as we are right now. In addition to that, we have the strongest military in the world. You saw that with Venezuela. You're seeing that right now with Iran for 47 years around. 47 years in a row, they were pushing people around. They're not pushing us around, we're pushing them around. The Penske team held more than 80 meetings in 90 days on Capitol Hill to get this event to happen. This is over a period of years, and nothing happened. And when they came to see, they said when they came to see the president, what are we working at? In about 15 minutes it was done. And we picked a better track. We actually picked, they went into something that was not as good. And, well, they were dealing with Democrats, what can I tell you? But it wasn't as good. And I said to the group, I said, is this the exact track that you want? And they said, you just can't do better than Pennsylvania Avenue when you think of it. And that's going to be the straightaway. It's going to be fantastic. This event is following in the footsteps of that event that I just mentioned, the UFC event, which we hosted Dana White, who's a fantastic man, what he's done, a great job. And this will be equally as breathtaking. The air show that we're going to have is going to be, along with the car, is going to be something. We did the greatest air show, I think, ever on July 4th. They've never seen planes at that level. It's really quite a time. And then we had an event, and there was rain, and everybody was told to leave. There was lightning, and they didn't leave. And I said, we can't not do it. So we went back. I said, everybody, let's come back. And we ended up, we had 425,000 people when we started. And they were figuring that it was a number much bigger than ever anticipated. And then everybody was told to go home, and I heard about that. I said, no way. So we called them all back. We ended up with 152,000 people. It was actually made hotter. This was made better and hotter by bad weather, believe it or not. I said, I don't care if I have to make the speech at 2 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter. But on our 250th anniversary, America deserves the greatest celebration in the history of our country, in the history of the world, and I think this is it, and this is really a big part of the crescendo. So next month, these exceptional sportsmen, drivers, athletes, they're great athletes. Nobody can do. They're born with something very special. They're born with an ability to press that pedal all the way down to the ground. Most people can't do that. Very few people can, but their beautiful cars are going to make freedom raw. This will be a freedom that's roaring like never before. So I'd like to now just ask Sean Duffy. This guy, Sean, is exceptional. And you know what people don't know? He was the world record in going up logs, going up to the top of these stupid trees. I never saw anything like that. And Sean, how many years were you the champion of that? 5? For 5 years, he was the world champion. He was a lumberjack. Who the hell knew that about Sean Duffy? And that because I like champions. He was the world champion for 5 years, going up a tree and coming down. He said going up wasn't bad. Coming down was very dangerous. He broke his back a couple of times, little things like that. But he was the world champion at that, climbing the tree for 5 separate times. And, you know, we respect great champions and athletes, so you wouldn't believe it. That's my man. I've known that for a long time. And he's married to Rachel, who's an incredible woman. She's a very big success on television, and we love their family. We love him. So I'd like to ask Sean to say a few words, and then Roger Penske is going to speak. And then we're going to be given a display of how to put tires on a car very quickly. So you're going to have a good time. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. As the Secretary of Transportation, lumberjack sports, we used to move logs down rivers, one of the first modes of transportation, so it's fitting. Thank you for the job. But it's great to be here with two legends, one legend in presidential history, but another legend, Roger Penske, in motorsports history for this great day. And just a little history that the President mentioned. The Department of Transportation was working with Fox Sports and the Penskes, and Bud Denker was working the Hill, and he had over 80 meetings on the Hill trying to make this event happen, because when you think about America 250, you also think about cars, and when you think about cars, you do think about freedom. This all goes together. And we had some people who were creating problems for us on the Hill. Not your team, Mr. President, the other team was creating problems. And so you don't go to the President with a half-baked idea. but we hit a roadblock, and I called Roger. I said, Roger, you gotta call the president and tell him about this great idea, and can he move this forward? And the president's right. It was one phone call, and the president said, done. We're gonna celebrate America 250 with the IndyCar race for the first time in the U.S. Capitol. And so I appreciate that, Mr. President, for all you have done to make this event happen. It would not be going on unless we had presidential engagement. And I agree, the UFC fight was remarkable. But America's birthday doesn't end on the 4th of July. Our birthday continues for the coming year, and so to continue to celebrate America 250, it would only make sense that we would do that with this road race. It's going to be August 23rd. The tickets are free. The weather's not going to be 100 degrees in DC. I'm thinking like 75 maybe in August. My mouth to God's ears. But we hope everyone comes and checks out this race. And it's going to be epic. And to the racers, I got to go around the Indy track at 175 miles an hour. And that felt like it was really fast. These guys are going 200, 250 around the track, true athletes. So to have you all here and to have the cars here is fantastic. And again, just finally, Mr. President, thank you for your leadership. You don't do anything that's small. Everything you do is big, it's huge, it's the best, it's the greatest. Whether it's the UFC fight or an IndyCar race in the Capitol, we appreciate your leadership. America loves you, and thank you for making this happen.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and welcome everybody here today. It's an honor for me, Mr. President, to be here and be part of this celebration. When you think about 250 years of this country, it's an amazing time. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work. And I think we're fortunate to have the most important office in the world give us the green light and then the checkered flag to have this event in August. Think about it. Over 250,000 people signed up to come to this event. And we will be able to accommodate 100,000 each of the 2 days. And it's for free, as the President said. But we're honored. I think it's an opportunity to showcase the technology, the speed, the partnerships, and the athletes that make such a difference. We think about the Indy 500 as an iconic race, but this is going to move right up there next to it as far as we're concerned from the standpoint of the best in the world. So, Mr. President, thank you again for this opportunity, and I think we have a special helmet for you. Am I right, Alex? We hope you will wear that when you're riding around in the Beast, leading the field. Come to the green flag. Again, thank you, sir. Bud Denker.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Secretary Duffy. I also want to thank and recognize Ambassador Crowley over here as well. Monica Crowley, our Ambassador of Protocol, has been a partner of mine in this whole journey. Mayor Bowser, but importantly, the President of the United States. As he mentioned, I was on Capitol Hill for several months and trying to get the race around that racetrack, but you know what? It didn't happen. And things happen for the best, don't they? God chose us to have a different path here, and that path was to bring this race down on the National Mall, Secretary Bergen's support, the mayor's support, and of course, as the President said, within 24 hours of this idea changing onto the city streets, we had an executive order in my inbox to review, and then 4 days later, I was in his office here to sign it. I want to thank Eric Shanks, CEO of Fox Sports. It was Eric Shanks and my idea to bring this vision to our capital, and in 41 short days, you're going to see remarkable athletes competing for the one and only trophy that they're ever going to possibly see here, and that's the trophy to celebrate our country. Mark Royce from General Motors, these are his beauties out here. This car over here, by the way, has 1,250 horsepower, and this will pace our field to the green flag 41 days from now. So, Mr. President, thank you again for your support. Thank you again for your leadership. Thank you again for your vision. With that, I'm going to have our driver, David Malukas, start that car. You're going to see this amazing pit crew here from Team Penske, change 4 tires, fuel, in about 6.5 seconds. Let's see it, guys.
All right, you guys, so as you can see, they show how the pit crew moves, and they are very, very quick. The Freedom 250 Grand Prix takes place in Washington, D.C. It's going to be August 22nd to August 23rd, and as they mentioned, the backdrop would be some of the nation's the biggest landmarks right there in D.C. It'll be pretty cool. I think something very similar was done in Chicago not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken, where they literally had the racers on the streets Chi-Town just riding around. It's kind of cool. So that's an option if that's something that you're interested in too, taking a trip out to the nation's capital. And as they said, it is free. Now, for those of you guys who are trying to keep up with the Home Run Derby, I promised that I would let you know what the scores were. So Wilson Contreras went first from the Boston Red Sox, and it looks like he scored 13 points. Now, his longest hit home run was 490 feet. He had hit it 115 miles per hour, which is super fast. So that was really big. And then up next, we had Jordan Walker from the St. Louis Cardinals. He scored 13 points as well. His longest home run was 470 feet. His hardest hit home run was 115 miles per hour. And when they're in a commercial break right now, but when they come back, the next person up on the mound is Jack Caglione. He plays for the Kansas City Royals, and again, he has not gone just yet, but it was pretty incredible watching this go. So I had to take a look at what the rules were to the Home Run Derby, and it seems like there are some new ones, but for anybody who's like brand new to the Home Run Derby like I am, I think the biggest thing that you need to know is they've got 20 chances, at least 20 chances, 20 swings to score as many home runs as they can. If you happen to score a home run on your last hit, so the 20th, they'll give you a bonus round, and you keep going with those bonuses until you don't hit a home run again. So again, you're trying to score as many points as you can, and you get a point when you hit a home run. Now, the thing is, though, how they're going to figure out who moves on to the next round. The top 4 players with the most home runs, they move on. But let's say that there's a tie. Then they'll start taking into factor how long your longest home run was. So it's pretty cool stuff. As I'm trying to get myself acclimated with it, I'm also keeping you guys up to date. Again, Jack Caglione will be the next player on the mound. So he hasn't gone yet. We've only seen 2 players up until this point. You guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I've got even more news for you guys. We're all keeping up to date with Senator Lindsey Graham. Of course, you've probably heard the news by now, but he passed away. And out in Congress, everybody is mourning his loss. They're talking about who will fill his seat, who's going to come up after him, and what they'll do with his legacy. We'll talk to you about it when we come back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. This may be news to some of you, but for those of you who have already seen it on social media and on the news earlier, Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina has passed away. He's a Republican who was very outspoken. He was actually very known for his voice. And we've been hearing memorials and mournings and tributes pour in from literally all over the country, from every walk of life. So the very first thing I want to play for you guys, maybe you heard about this, but they were trying to determine who would fill his seat, at least temporarily, because he is a sitting senator. So who would fill that spot until they're able to have an election? And we'll also get into his sickness, and we'll talk a little bit more about what he meant to his community in just a second. But first and foremost, take a listen to who will fill that seat.
This is an important day in South Carolina history. There'll be other celebrations and events of all kinds. But I and the family thank all of you for coming here today. We meet in sadness over the loss of one of South Carolina's greatest sons. Here we also gather together to celebrate what this self-described poor boy from a small town, rural town in South Carolina accomplished through grit, determination, and character for his state, for his country, and for his world. Lindsey Graham recognized the greatness of America and her obligations to a dangerous world. Lindsey Graham recognized the seriousness of his work, but also the value of humor and a lighthearted spirit. Lindsey Graham understood the hopes, dreams, and needs of his state and delivered for his state every time. Presidents, paupers, famous or forgotten, he treated us all the same. We have seen him attack evil and injustice and embrace friendship and the common good with equal fervor and strength. Yes, we are going to miss Lindsey, but we will always remember his quickness, his laugh, and what he has done for us and the world. As he described himself, this poor boy from a little town in South Carolina. Today, under the law, it's my duty and honor to name someone to serve in the place of this irresistible man, this irreplaceable man, this extraordinary man for the remainder of his term. Lindsey took care of his little sister in years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. And by the way, Darlene, I don't know if I told you, but after we spoke on the phone in the wee hours of Sunday morning, and you agreed to serve through tears, earlier, I had wondered what you would say, and I was humbled by your quickness to see the duty that you had to serve. And I called the president afterwards, and he thought it was a great idea. And I'm sure that everyone here does as well. Darlene, little sister, come forward, please.
Thank you, Governor, and just bear with me as I try to get through this. But first, I just want to say one thing I've never heard Lindsey described as is irresistible. So, okay, we'll just start with that. But first, I would like to thank everyone who has called and reached out over the past couple of days. I can't tell you how much it's meant to me and our family. I know Lindsey was loved and respected by many, and I greatly appreciate the memories and even the funny stories that have been shared. These shared experiences, along with our faith, have gotten us through these past 2 very difficult days. Next, I want to thank the governor for selecting me to serve the remainder of Lindsey's term. It is such an honor. Lindsey has always been there for me, and now I will be there for him. My brother was the most amazing person, outstanding leader, and just a genuinely good man. He was kind and considerate and loved by his family dearly. As I think everyone would agree, Lindsey worked harder than anyone. He worked nonstop to make our state, country, and world better. He loved his family and loved serving this state and our country. He dedicated his life to our country. It is such a privilege to get to finish some of his important work, and I promise to work hard over the next several months to support the President and carry forward the efforts of my brother on behalf of the citizens of South Carolina and the United States. I know Lindsey thought the world of his staff and colleagues, and with their support, I feel confident. I think this is what Lindsey would have wanted, and I plan to honor him in this way. Now to Lindsey, I miss you more than I can even put into words, but I'm going to do this. I got it. Thank you.
All right, so as you could hear, she feels very confident that she can fill the role, that she'll be able to govern in what would have been his best interest, the same way he would have. There is going to be an election, I believe it's going to be held next month, where people will be able to put in who they want the Republican nominee to be for the actual seat, and then eventually there will be the bigger election where they'll decide who actually gets to take over long term. But for the next couple of months, it will be Darlene, the sister. So you're seeing some images there of Senator Lindsey Graham, just in case maybe you weren't aware of who he was, or at least what he looks like, but you've heard the name floating around social media. Now you're matching a face to the name. They're saying he was 71 years old and that he had passed away from a brief and sudden illness. They have actually put a name to it now, and it's called aortic dissection. So later on, I'm going to play for you this interview that we had with a doctor who can talk to you a little bit more about what aortic dissection really is, how it can really take over suddenly, and how extremely painful it is. He also says that this is one of those things where if you get it, you're almost certain that it is not going to have a positive outcome for you all. President Donald Trump has weighed in. He's talked a little bit more about how he considered Graham to be a friend to him, how he thought he was an incredible politician. I want to let you guys listen in to what he had to say earlier during a press conference.
And I just, while we're talking, I have to pay on behalf of Mike and myself, and I think everybody's standing behind me very strongly. I want to pay my respects to Lindsey, who was our friend. He was a friend of all of us. He was a great guy. He was a great politician, actually. And it's hard to believe he's gone. He spoke to me just before he passed away, just to say hello. He got back. He felt fine. He was a little tired. And then this whole thing happened. And it's, boy, it's tough. So the flags are at half-mast until Saturday evening, which is an extended period of time, you know, generally speaking, but I think he deserves it. And he's a fantastic person. He was a fantastic man. He was actually a great politician. He got along with almost everybody. And when he didn't get along, they knew it. He was tough, but he was a good man. He was very much in favor of the Save America Act. He called me about that. We were talking about that and some other things. But he just felt tired, but he felt fine. And then this horrible thing happened just a short time afterwards. So it was terrible. I just want to pay our respects.
So that was just a brief snippet of what the president had to say during that press conference. He also had spoken about him earlier than that on a news program where he was asked how he felt about him. And again, he did say that he considered him to be a dear friend and that he had spoken to him not too long before he fell ill and unfortunately lost his life. Again, soon we'll be sharing an interview with a doctor who can talk to you a little bit more about what aortic dissection really is, how it can manifest in your body and how it feels to endure it. And when I tell you that this is some pretty good stuff where you'll get to learn something and also maybe even be able to save somebody in your life later on, this is really important to hear. Now, when the Senate floor opened up for the day, obviously his colleagues on both sides of the aisle were very upset. They were mourning his loss, and they had quite a few, whether it was a prayer or they shared their own tribute and thoughts. I want to let you listen into one in particular. I found it very interesting. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who's also a Republican from South Dakota, he remembered Senator Graham in a very personal way. It was very emotional as he spoke. I want to let you listen in to what he had to say. This was moments after the Senate floor opened up for the day.
Mr. President, I come to the floor today with a heavy heart. I look to my right and I see a desk which we in the Senate refer to and know as the John Calhoun desk. It's covered with a black shroud, and on that top of that shroud is a bowl of white roses. That, Mr. President, is Lindsey Graham's desk. It's difficult to believe that Lindsey Graham is no longer here with us, that we won't run into him at a media day or share a joke with him at this afternoon's vote. The halls of the Senate already feel empty without him. And I know I'm not alone in that feeling. He was a friend to so many of us on both sides of the aisle. And I know that I'm not the only one who finds it difficult to imagine the Senate without Lindsey Graham. Mr. President, the events of Lindsey's life have been well documented over the past couple of days. His humble beginnings in South Carolina, sharing a single room with the rest of his family behind his family's bar. His guardianship of his younger sister, Darlene, after the untimely death of their parents. His long service in the Air Force, the South Carolina Air National Guard, and the Air Force Reserve. His career in politics, first as a member of the South Carolina House of Representatives, then as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, where I served with him for 6 years, and then in the Senate, where he was just completing his 4th term. In the Senate, Lindsey distinguished himself as a staunch conservative and a fierce advocate for South Carolina, but also as someone who was willing to work across the aisle to find common ground and to reach solutions. A lawyer by trade, he serves as chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee from 2019 to 2021, where he helped confirm a Supreme Court justice and numerous federal judges, the kind of judges who believe in following the law and the Constitution instead of legislating policy from the bench. Most of all, of course, Mr. President, Lindsey was known for his national security and foreign policy work. There was no bigger believer in America's role in the world. He was confident that the United States could be a force for good, and he gave everything he had to ensuring that we would be. He was a friend and defender of freedom-loving peoples all over the world. He stood with the Ukrainian people in their fight against Russian aggression, and he died with his boots on, having just returned from a trip to Ukraine, his 10th. He believed fiercely in the importance of a strong national defense, in ensuring that our country and our military men and women were always prepared to deter and defeat any threat. But while there was always a lot made of his support for American hard power, he was also a big believer in the use of soft power, economic, diplomatic, and political solutions to the world's problems. I was fortunate to travel with him all over the world, including to Israel after Hamas's October 7th attack. And I saw firsthand the work that he did to promote American security and the security of freedom-loving peoples around the globe. And of course, I don't need to tell anyone in this body that Lindsey was fearless in his commitment to the causes that he espoused. It didn't matter to him whether he would catch flack on an issue. He was undaunted by the politics if he believed he was right on the principle. Senator, warrior, patriot, statesman, Words that will be written about Lindsay. But for me, most of all, Mr. President, he was my friend. Without friends, Aristotle said, no one would choose to live, although he had all other goods. And it's difficult to count the ways in which Lindsay's friendship made this job richer and its burdens lighter. Lindsay was as loyal as they come and a trusted advisor. I could always rely on him for straight-talking advice. He never minced words or pulled punches. I could also rely on him for a steady flow of humor and encouragement. He always could make me laugh, always. In the last couple of years, he came to South Dakota twice, and twice we sat on the deck and watched the sun go down on Lake Oahe. A familiar scene to me, but new to him. And as the stars came out, you could see the Milky Way overhead, and you could hear coyotes howling and rooster pheasants cackling down below. Lindsay's wit punctuated all of it. And I will cherish those memories for a long time to come. Mr. President, if there is any light to be found in this grief, it is this: that as a Christian like Lindsay, I know that death is not the end. The Apostle Paul writes, and I quote, "Brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again. And so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him," end quote. Or as another Graham once put it, and I quote, "Someday you will read or hear that Billy Graham is dead. Don't you believe a word of it. I shall be more alive than I am now. I will just have changed my address. I will have gone into the presence of God," end quote. I will miss Lindsay's friendship, Mr. President, more than I can say. We pray for his staff and for his family, whom he loved dearly and who loved him dearly in return. But I am comforted by the knowledge that in the end, he has just changed his address. And that one day, Mr. President, we will laugh together again. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
Those are the remarks from the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune. As I mentioned to you all, it did get very emotional at the end there. They were showing the chair where they have a bouquet of flowers set out in honor of the senator who is no longer here with us, Lindsey Graham. Now, you guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to get things back rerouted. We'll talk to you about what's happening with the Home Run Derby. We'll get you a look at your weather forecast. We may even have a chance to talk to you guys about some trending stories. So what are you guys reading right now? What are you scrolling on social media? What's really bothering that good part of your brain that you need itched? Maybe I can do it for you. We'll have more when we come back. All right, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. Who is here for the 2026 Home Run Derby? I want to get you guys caught back up to where we are. So Ben Rice from the New York Yankees is on deck right now. He's hitting for his life. He's already scored 7 points, as you can see up there on the screen. I thought it was really interesting that some of you guys said you definitely wanted him to come out as the winner, because this is his first All-Star activity match game. This is then, of course, his first home run derby, and he's not doing so bad. So his longest home run was 443 feet, which relatively is okay, but compared to some of the first guys who came out, there were some real heavy hitters. I believe the very first person who came out was Wilson Contreras, and he hit a 490-foot home run. So, you know, if it came down to him tying with somebody, he's going to really want to start hitting a lot further, a lot harder. We also got to see Murakami come up. His longest home run was 466 feet at 114 miles per hour. He has scored 9 points, which from the looks of it, he may not make it to the Final Four. We'll see. Caglione came up too. His longest home run was 477 feet. Hardest hit, 116 miles per hour, and he scored 8 points. But the first guys who came out were some heavy hitters. Wilson Contreras scored 13 points, and looks like Jordan Walker tied with him at 13. So, you know, the game continues. They're still, okay, it looks like Ben Rice just finished out his turn. He's leaving with 7 points. Now, we still have got to see Caminero, Schwarber, and Harper. So those of you Phillies fans, you got to go hard for our guys. You're taking a look at Citizens Bank Park out here in Philadelphia. It is a busy, busy night, and honestly, a very busy week. There are so many activities planned for you guys. Have any of you guys gotten to go out to the All-Star Village? That's been pretty cool that we've seen on social media.
Yeah.
Did you get out there, Jake?
No, I haven't yet, but I want to. It looks so cool. Like there's so many fun like activities, and they're so like interactive.
I think my favorite is the little Velcro wall.
Yes.
I saw Morgan trying to jump.
Yes. That I was just thinking about that. That cracked me up. I feel like I have to do that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Jake here is from our digital team.
Yes,
You always keep us up to date with trending
Yes.
stories.
Yes.
Just keeping your pulse on what everybody is reading
Yes.
and watching. What's going on out today?
Okay, so earlier this morning in our meeting, I brought up there was a situation involving a Princess Cruise. Okay, so it's like a cruise line, and there was a worker that went missing. So so the cruise left Fort Lauderdale this past weekend. I believe it was a Saturday. It was cruising along, got to Mexico. Off the coast of Cabo, this worker went missing. And, you know, so there was a whole search effort. And unfortunately, while we were in the show, they found the body. So this worker unfortunately passed away. Right now, it's unknown what exactly happened, but they're thinking he fell off the cruise. Yes, so very upsetting. A lot of people were really interested in this because there's been a couple other instances of people disappearing from cruises in the media lately. There was a Netflix documentary that came out called Amy Bradley's Missing. A woman went missing from a cruise, still hasn't been found. So people
to this day?
Yes, to this day. Yeah, so people were very invested. Someone missing from a cruise, but unfortunately, this employee was found and did pass away. So they're not releasing, you know, the name. They notified the family. So my condolences are with family and friends right now. It's a really upsetting situation, but I'm glad that they were able to get that closure in this certain situation.
I mean, that's all you can see about it. My prayers are with them as well. Goodness gracious.
I know.
That is a big one. And it was one of the trending topics too on Google. So we know a lot of you guys were interested in that.
A lot of people were invested. And I think the cruise is going to continue. So they made this discovery. Yes, I think it's supposed to wrap up this upcoming weekend. So I think they're going to continue. It was paused while this investigation was going on, but I think they're just going to push through. So
do you think they've told the people on board what happened?
I think they have, because a lot of people were noticing that there was a big search going on and were asking questions. I don't know how they kind of approach the situation if they kind of made an announcement or if it was just word of mouth. But I believe that the passengers on the cruise were aware of what was going on.
Anytime I go on vacation, wherever I'm at, I feel like my mom is always like hyper aware of
Yes.
news headlines
Yes.
that might have to do with
Right.
this particular island. Or,
Right.
So even if they didn't for whatever reason, but I'm sure they
Yes.
probably have,
Yes.
social media or family and friends have probably
Yes.
gotten to you by now.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
well, do you mind if we go back to the home run derby
Yes,
real quick?
of course.
Okay, because we know a lot of people are looking out for it.
Yes.
And a lot of people are upset that it's on Netflix.
Yes, I know,
Yeah,
I know.
I get it, you know,
Right.
no password sharing. They
I
said
know,
we can't watch
I know.
it. That's okay. We've been keeping up to date
Yes.
on the score. and
We're
whatnot for
watching
you
it right
guys.
now. The
Oh
score's going
my
up.
Goodness, Junior Caminero
Yes.
is doing his thing.
Yes.
He's already scored 6 points, like within the time that Jake
Yeah.
has been talking.
Yes.
So 7 now.
Yes.
He is not playing around.
Yes.
So that means he's already tied with Ben Rice.
Right.
And he is coming up on Caglione and Murakami, possibly.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
I know. We'll see. I know. I'm excited for the next two, as I'm sure a lot of people
They say
watching
the
this
best
are.
for last.
Right.
What can
exactly.
we say?
Exactly.
Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper will round out round 1, and then we'll see who's moving on
Yeah.
to round 2. I think they can only take 4 to
Yes.
round 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, but we wanted to ask you guys, like, if you were out there,
Right.
and you had a chance to catch a home run ball,
Right. Yes.
what would you do?
Yes. So as you can see right now, keep it way in the lead. 63%. Give it to a kid. 26%. Only 3% of people say they would throw it back, and then 8% say other. Leave a comment. I'm looking at our social pages. People have a lot to say.
Oh, lay on me.
Yes. Some people are sharing personal experiences. Joyce said, I actually got to catch a ball one time and I ended up meeting a player. I love the Phillies. They're so great. They're so nice. Lori said, I remember years ago in Chicago, if a ball from the opponent was hit into the crowd, they would throw it back. Don't know if they still do it. Someone said, depends on who hit it. Dave said, give it to a kid. They would enjoy it more. Robert says, again, depends on who hit it. Most likely give it to a kid. Yeah, a lot of people are saying either give it to a kid or it depends on who did it. Christopher said, if it's a superstar, sorry, kid, try harder.
Try harder. I'm sure my arms only reach out so far.
Yes.
How am I going to catch it?
No, and it's funny because this question has me thinking about the incident that happened a little while ago.
What?
The Phillies Karen. Did you hear about that?
No.
That there was it was a game and there was a ball hit into the crowd. And it was going to a kid, like a dad was about to get it, and some woman ran in front and grabbed it.
I did see that, but I didn't know it was a Phillies game.
Yes.
It was all over social media.
Yes. Yes. It was a big deal. One of my friends actually went as the Phillies Karen for Halloween. It was a really big deal. So this question just has me thinking about that. Hopefully,
I need her to weigh in. What would you do?
Yes. Hopefully people have learned their lesson because she kind of was put on blast and learned her lesson. So I think probably after that, a lot of people would be scared. Maybe give it to the kid, So.
But if you caught it fair and square, I didn't have to push anybody or rip it out of somebody's hands.
It is different. So.
But continue to vote,
Yes.
you guys. You can go on our Go Vote. It's fox29.com
Yes.
/Go Vote.
Yes.
And let us know how you feel.
Yes, and we also have it posted on all our social media platforms. So
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram story, X. I put the link in the TikTok chat a couple times. So definitely check it out and, weigh in.
Oh my goodness. We've got a lot of people weighing in on Facebook, on YouTube,
Yes.
a lot of different places. Let's see. We'll keep up to date with what you guys
Yes.
are saying. And I do want to let you know that in our time talking, he has
Yes.
done it again.
Yes.
Doubled the score.
Wow,
Junior
that's
Caminero
awesome.
is now at 12 points. And let me see, how many more, sometimes they'll tell us how many more hits they have unless he's done now. He had 20 swings. And as I told you guys, if on the 20th swing he ended up hitting another home run, then he would get a bonus round.
Right.
It looks like he did finish out. So he, right now, is in third place. We've got Contreras and Walker tied for first place. So I guess technically he's in second place.
Right.
Yeah. But now we got to see.
I know we have the big ones up next. I'm very excited to see.
I'm very
how
excited to
this
see
plays out.
this too. We will keep you guys up to date and try to bring you guys some behind the scenes stuff as well. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, I want to transition things to weather. I heard our meteorologist Kathy Orr say earlier that weather, the wind, can impact how they're hitting, specifically the left-hand hitters. And both Schwarber and Harper are left-handed.
Isn't that so interesting?
I love it.
Yes.
We'll be right back with Kathy Orr in just a second. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live, getting you caught up on the Home Run Derby. Kyle Schwarber's on deck, and wait, in my introduction of him, he already scored twice. I love this so much. I don't even know how that's possible. So we're gonna keep our eyes on what's going on out there. We'll let you know who's in the lead, who's going on around 2, and remember that Bryce Harper comes after him. So we had a lot, and number 3, he just hit number 3. What can I say? I heard that the weather may be benefiting him. The wind might be a great thing for left-handed players out. Kathy, you kind of teased this for us during our meeting. What did you mean by that?
You know, I'm a huge sports fan. I didn't know if you knew that about me. And on my journey to becoming a meteorologist, my second love was sports and being a sportscaster. So I always love to mix sports and weather because obviously any outdoor event depends on weather, right? So yes, there is a lot to do with the wind. Our prevailing wind in the summer is southwest. And if you're a left-handed batter, that's only to your advantage as you would hit toward the right field wall. As a matter of fact, Judea, when Citizens Bank Park was being conceived and they built the stadium, the architects did not build that right field wall high enough. And so many home runs were being hit that they actually had to make it higher. So there's a piece of Philadelphia Citizens Bank Park trivia for you. So first, let's take you back to the bank and we'll show you this beautiful night for the Home Run Derby. Now, it's more impactful when you have a very warm day and high humidity, because when you have high humidity, the ball can actually go farther, and in those warm temperatures, the same. So you have heat, you have humidity, that comes with a southwest wind, the perfect ingredients to benefit that left-handed batter. So right now, 70 78 degrees. Not so warm, not so humid, but you still have that southwest wind. Temperatures are in the 70s right now, and as we go through the overnight, it's going to be pretty mild. The dew point temperatures are in the 60s. That's a little muggy. There'll be more humidity in the air tomorrow for the All-Star game. Overnight lows will be in the 60s, and that will give us a great base to jump not only in the 80s by late morning, but in the 90s by the afternoon, with the high temperature going for 95 degrees. So 95 in the city, 93 in Westchester, 96 in Allentown. The only place we're not seeing multiple 90s will be down the shore, but still quite warm there. For the All-Star game tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Citizens Bank Park, the temperature will be 90. So you have the heat. You'll also have some higher humidity. You also have the southwest wind at least 10 miles an hour. With that prevailing wind, the heat and humidity, we're talking about our 3 left-handed batters, our stars that are in that All-Star game. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Brandon Marsh, all left-handers. With that wind and with the advantage of the warmth and the humidity, that equals more home runs. So that is the deal for tomorrow night. Could be helping a little bit tonight, but when you have the combination of the wind, the warmth, and the humidity, that's like the perfect ingredients for those home runs right over that right field wall. Extreme heat by Wednesday along the I-95 corridor in our highly urbanized counties on the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware sides. That's when it will feel like about 110 with the heat and humidity. We just did this over the 4th of July. It's nothing new, but it's tiring that we're seeing this type of heat again. Down the shore, yes, nice for Tuesday, hot for Wednesday, and then by Thursday, still very warm at 86. And then on our 3-day forecast, you'll see the heat begins on Tuesday. The heat wave is official on Thursday. It continues through Friday, and then we're expecting at least Friday afternoon through Saturday and Sunday, even into Monday, some showers and thunderstorms, and these will be drenching again with concerns for flooding because the atmosphere is so charged, and we are going to continue to see that heavy rain and potential for damaging winds as we break this heat wave, the 5th of the year. So Judea, is that the answer that you wanted?
It is the answer I wanted. I learned so much from listening to you give us our forecast, but then also like the little lessons that you give me on the side. I think they're so cool. And I don't know, I get to nerd out about it, so I know our audience probably loves it too.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, tonight, yes, it's an advantage, but tomorrow night, it's going to be a typical summer baseball scenario. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, and just to let you know, because you did say that you were a big fan, it looks like Kyle Schwarber has finished out with 10 points. I know it might not have been what he wanted, but when I tell you he was ripping them off, like back to back to back, he shouldn't be ashamed at how he performed
No
tonight.
way. And you know what? I read that this year they were giving them 20 at-bats.
Yes.
They changed it. So he got half, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then it
Batting
just so
500.
happens, literally, it just so happens if he had hit the 20th home run and, you know, made it to a home run, they would give him a bonus round. So they actually did go ahead and do that. So that's how he made it that far. But he just finished out, which means Bryce Harper is coming on up to the plate. And he's the last one in this round. So I hope that you find a way to watch it real quick. Maybe
Me
we can
too.
talk about it after the show.
I'm going to grab my phone. All right. Thanks, Judea.
No problem. All right, come back in here with me, you guys. As I just mentioned, Bryce Harper is on the diamond right now. He's coming to the mound. He will be going head-to-head and seeing if he can either tie Wilson Contreras and Jordan Walker, or whether he can at least knock Caminero out. He wants the 4th position for sure. And if he doesn't do it, that means it goes to Kyle Schwarber. So he needs at least 10, but hopefully 11 or more. All right, we'll keep you guys updated with everything that's going on there. Let's see if you guys are asking for anything in particular. Remember, this is an interactive live stream chat where you guys can tell me what stories you're most interested in. And it looks like everybody is concerned about the Derby. So again, as Bryce starts to actually hit, I'll be able to bring you guys that latest stuff. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, let me know if you'd like to hear about some financial news, some stuff that may help you keep the money in your pocket or make a little bit more. Or we can go into this latest drug bust here in Philadelphia. Our DA says we're talking about thousands of pounds of drugs, cocaine, fentanyl. We'll talk about it maybe when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. Would you like to see a rocket launch? We actually have a live look at one right now coming out of Cape Canaveral in Florida. This is the Falcon 9 rocket from SpaceX. So you've probably seen or at least heard of these missions before. They head out into space and then they release a bunch of satellites that will start orbiting around Earth. And it's pretty interesting. This started around, I believe, 9-ish, 9:15-ish our time. You can hear the crew talking back and forth with each other. I believe that's going to be some of those satellites that you're taking a look at coming on out. This is so cool. Literally getting to see like how Earth looks from space is incredible. Taking a live look from the outside of this particular rocket that has launched off. Again, this was started out in Cape Canaveral in Florida. It's a SpaceX rocket. What's interesting to me when researching this particular launch, I kept hearing this term being floated around, jellyfish effect, and I try to look more into it. It's when the exhaust plume of the rocket grows and glows and it kind of creates like this jellyfish like cloud from the exhaust, and I'm wondering if we're going to get a glimpse of it, because that would be awesome. I understand the concept of what they just told me, but I need to see it in action because I think that would be much cooler. So this is the 28th mission for this particular Falcon 9. This is the first stage booster called B1080. You guys may have seen some of the other missions. They have been doing this for quite some time now. Again, they will be sending off a whole bunch of satellites into outer space that will start to orbit the Earth. This is one of many missions that they've been doing over the last year and some change, maybe even 2. But I wanted to give you guys just a look out at what's happening. If you guys are interested, we can come back to that. Keep in mind, I'm also keeping you guys up to date on what's going on with the Home Run Derby out here in Philadelphia. So many fans from all across the country. We've even gotten some fans from across the world coming out to see some of their favorite baseball players like smash as many home runs as they can. I heard they got 20 swings each unless they hit a home run on the 20th swing, and then they would have a bonus round, and after that until they were not scoring anymore. Okay, so Bryce Harper's on the mound. He's the last person in round 1, and it looks like he has 8 points already. He only has 2 pitches left, which means if he hits both of them, he could tie with Kyle Schwarber. That, I don't know that would, I think he would have to have a tiebreaker with Schwarber because Wilson Contreras and Jordan Walker are also tied for first at 13. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Well, wait a minute. He has made it to the bonus round. So if he just continuously hits, he could surpass Kyle Schwarber. I'll keep my eyes on what happens there for you guys. Hopefully we'll get that result in maybe like a minute or 2. But let me talk to you guys about some big money news. Here's some things that you need to know, whether it's about keeping the money in your pocket, getting some more, or just learning how to manage it. These are a couple of things that I think everybody should keep their eyes on. So the first one is about the IRS. The IRS has announced a new penalty relief auto process that's called automatic exemption penalty. So if you qualify, they're looking at whether or not you have a history of timely filing and paying your taxes for the last 3 years, or you've had to have 12 consecutive quarterly filings. Now, any taxpayer that doesn't have this, you'll have to act to receive this penalty grace. You may not be permitted to receive this penalty grace, is what I mean. The IRS will apply the automatic exemption to anyone who does. They'll also issue a notice to the taxpayer that the relief was granted. The new process begins this summer, so keep your eyes on it. It applies to eligible original returns beginning with the 2025 tax year and the 2026 quarterly tax returns, as well as future periods. Previously, though, taxpayers had to request penalty removals via a system called First Time Abate, which the IRS will now begin to phase out. So keep your eyes on that. Okay, we have gone into round 2 of the Home Run Derby. It looks like Wilson Contreras will be taking on Kyle Schwarber, and Jordan Walker will be taking on Junior Caminero. I think this is very interesting. I wasn't expecting this to be the core 4. I think a lot of people were really hoping that Bryce Harper would try to pull out. I know a lot of people expected it to be Kyle, but there were some people who were wondering if Bryce would just be the underdog. I know a lot of you guys were also really excited to see that Yankees player come out, because this was his first All-Star game, also his first home run derby. A lot of people were hoping that Ben Rice would come out on top, or at least, make it to the second round. He did a pretty good job for himself. So again, another player that I don't think has anything to be ashamed of in how they performed. This was huge to get to represent your team out of so many other players. They only chose 8, and he was one of them. So good on him. Again, we have just now entered round 2. So we'll keep our eyes on how they're able to do this time around. We got about 24 minutes left in show, so we may come out with a final score for this round too. We'll keep our eyes on it for you guys. Let's get back into that financial news. I want to talk to you guys about student loans real quick, just in case you are one of those people who are still trying to pay things off and try to figure out how you're going to get through with it. Here's a headline for you. If you've moved over to the new WRAP plan, it's possible that you could start losing out on some key benefits, but it's if you pay late. So they want to make sure that everybody's making their payments on time. Student loan holders should be aware that if they're on the new WRAP plan to pay off their debt, they could lose their key benefits if they don't pay them on time. So WRAP stands for Repayment Assistance Plan, RAP. It offers advantages to federal student loan borrowers, but only if you pay that bill on time. And even if borrowers miss their due date by even a single day, they'll forfeit the government's interest waiver, principal match, and other perks that are considered valuable ways to save money. So stay on it. Make sure you've got money pulled to the side every single month when this comes through. You don't want to get caught slipping. Last but not least, a new study is revealing that climate change may impact the price of water bills, specifically in the western part of the U.S. So, we seem to be safe over here in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. The research found that climate-driven drought could require costly infrastructure to remove salt and minerals from seawater, along with creating the need for water reuse projects. And that would drive up water rates. Findings say that severe drought conditions, more than 5% of U.S. households could end up spending a third of their income just on water. That is insane. The study by researchers at Stanford University is published in the journal Nature Sustainability if you'd like to read a little bit more on it. All right, you guys, we're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about this big drug bust. D.A. Krasner here in Philadelphia says that they found, we're talking about thousands of pounds worth of drugs in this particular home. We'll get into it when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. If you're trying to keep up with the Home Run Derby, just a reminder, we are officially in round 2. Willson Contreras will be facing off with Kyle Schwarber, and then it looks like Jordan Walker will be facing off with Junior Caminero. So that is going on as we speak. Hopefully by the end of my stream tonight at 10 o'clock, we'll be able to get you guys a live update on what's happening there. In the meantime, there was a major drug bust. We're talking about $6 million worth of fentanyl and cocaine found and seized in what officials are calling a major drug bust for Philadelphia. You're taking a look at guns there, drugs. Again, they're saying they found about thousands of pounds of all this stuff. I want to get you the details from Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner. Take a listen.
At this week's regular DAO press conference, we are here to talk about a major drug bust. This is the result of a very long-term collaboration. It's been about 2 years so far. That has obviously, as you can see on the table in front of me, gotten some results. The part of the story that relates to the table in front of me is not 2 years, it's more like 8 months. And in the world of drug investigations, something that I've had the opportunity to observe for over 30 years, this is moving quickly, and this is moving effectively, and this is moving carefully in ways that have had a real impact. Where's the impact? Well, it's actually national, international, in fact. But if we're speaking of the city of Philadelphia, the areas of impact are South Philly, West and Southwest Philly, North and Northwest Philly. They're big. It's a lot. What you see before you are a total of 58 kilos of cocaine. There are 16 with a Mercedes-Benz stamp on them. There are 42 that have this Cobra marking on them. There are other things here and to be mentioned, including a gallon of PCP, including crystal methamphetamine, including 20 kilos of fentanyl located in a different city and being used, at least in part, in order to manufacture counterfeit pills, incredibly dangerous counterfeit pills. Incredibly dangerous counterfeit pills, incredibly dangerous drugs that are killing people in massive numbers. I will let the experts get into the details in just a moment, but I want to give you the basics, and then I want to get out of their way so they can give you the details. There will be graphics up on the screen. Those graphics will also be made available afterwards as links in our press release relating to this case. There are 2 defendants in particular I want to talk about. This is an ongoing investigation. It's got a lot of different aspects to it. It covers a lot of ground, a lot of people, a lot of time. We're not going to talk about all of it because, among other things, we want to preserve the integrity of the investigation. But I am going to talk about 2 of the people who have been arrested and charged in this case. The first one, defendant number 1, is Rabita Reynolds. Date of birth, 8/20/1979. Rabita is spelled R-A-A-B-I-T-A-H. That's the first name. He is a man. Rabita Reynolds, date of birth, 8/20/1979. Charges include felony possession with intent to deliver, 2 counts. 2 counts of criminal conspiracy. Section 6105, which is felon in possession of a firearm, second-degree felony, and related offenses. Defendant number 2 is Ephraim Ramsey. Ephraim is spelled E-P-H-R-A-I-M. Ramsey is R-A-M-S-E-Y. Date of birth, 9/14/1974. His charges include felony possession with intent to deliver, 1 count, 1 count of criminal conspiracy and related offenses. It has been a hallmark of this administration and our generally excellent collaboration with other law enforcement that we care about the big stuff. We care about the international source. We care about the transport. We care about big amounts of drugs. And so do all of our partners. And this is different than a lot of what I saw 30 years ago, when I was just, one more attorney in a courtroom in the criminal justice system. What I saw was a whole lot of young people with a small amount of drugs in their pocket. That's what I saw. And it didn't work. Well, this, in my opinion, is a much more important and much more effective approach, and I'm delighted to see that our partners have had so much success with us. There are a ton of people in this room that I'm going to ask the cameras not to cover, and that's because they're very active law enforcement. They operate undercover. They need safety. They need protection. They need their names and faces out of it. So if these cameras notice that there are more people behind them than in front of them, that's why. But there are some of them I can't acknowledge. First of all, we cannot have this conference without acknowledging Moose, the dog. Moose the dog may come up here if he feels like it and make another turn. But let me just say this. If you want to find a huge pile of kilos inside of a storage container, inside of a space where there's a whole bunch of other storage containers that don't contain any drugs, Moose is your guy. Moose will be in there, and upon the proper command, will leap right on top of the right crate and start barking. Moose stands on business. I can say that for Moose. And Moose is handled by the Bensalem Police Department. As you can tell, he's friendly as can be when he's not doing important law enforcement work. Special Agent in charge, Thomas Hodnett, that's Hodnett, of the Drug Enforcement Administration is here. We have enjoyed an excellent relationship with the Drug Enforcement Administration and with Special Agent in charge, Hodnett, and I say that because Special Agent Hodnett is facing mandatory retirement, even though he looks a lot younger than me. He's facing mandatory retirement in the near future. He will be missed, and we are happy to hear that his replacement shares his philosophy, which is let's do the work. Let's not make excuses and waste time. Let's get it done. Let's do it right, and let's make sure it matters. That has been my experience with him, and I truly appreciate his service. Brian Michaels, Director of the High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area, HIDTA, is here. We thank him for his support. He has been instrumental, as has HIDTA, with funding things that cost money. A lot of this work is expensive, as you may imagine. These are deep dive investigations that go far and wide, use a lot of technology, and they require money. Well, the money's been there, and we appreciate that. We have with us Lieutenant Charles Jackson of the Philadelphia Police Department Narcotics Bureau. We are extremely grateful for PPD's role in this investigation. And I also want to mention the 12th District, because the 12th District, under the leadership of Captain Matthew Johnson, took a special role in this investigation, which we may or may not mention according to what makes the most sense. We have with us ADA Paul Riddell, Supervisor of the DAO's Dangerous Drug Offender Unit. You might say the mastermind of this operation from the DA's office perspective, who has worked so closely with all of our partners. ADA Stephen Gurman. Riddell, by the way, is R-E-D-D-E-L. Is that right, Paul? Correct. Okay. We have also ADA Stephen Gurman, which is S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Gurman, G-I-R-M-A-N, who personally handled a lot of the details of this case and is primary on the case. Dangerous Drug Offenders Unit. Marielle Dela Cruz, Director of the DAO's Victim Services Unit.
All right, DA Krasner is going over some of the people who helped work on this case, but as you got to hear him say, he's not going to name or showcase everyone because he does believe that some of those people should be working under anonymity. That is going to be the best way if you protect their identities for them to keep doing some of these undercover stings. Whew, tongue-tied there, you guys. That'll be the best way for them to continue doing their job properly. Now, keeping you guys up to date too on what's happening with the Home Run Derby. It looks like Walker and Caminero are both neck and neck. They have both scored 5 out of 5 points for their home runs. It's really interesting here. I don't know what happens next. I'll keep my, Nope, Walker just scored another one. Okay, so he's officially in the lead. I think that means that he will beat out Caminero, and then it goes over to Contreras and Schwarber, and we're gonna see who's going to make it to the finals. You guys will keep our eyes on this, but we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I've got some interesting news for you guys, some trending stuff, what's going on social media. This one is looking for the best parallel parker in Philadelphia. Well, look, you found her, but what exactly is the criterion? We'll get into that when we come back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. Before we get into our conversation, we got to keep people updated what's happening with the Home Run Derby. And we just saw round 2 get kicked off.
Yes.
Caminero and Walker were up against each other. Walker came out on top. So Caminero put up 5 out of 5 home runs. Walker got a bonus hit. He scored 6 out of 6. It was pretty nasty, you guys.
Right.
Yeah, so now, okay, Contreras and Schwarber are getting underway.
Okay.
We'll probably have that result before this segment's
I'm
nervous. I think he can do it. I really think
on.
he can.
Come on.
Yeah. Everybody, throw your best vibes into the live stream chat. If you have an iPhone, use the baseball emoji.
Yes, come on. Come on.
Now, Jake, are you decent at parallel parking?
No.
You live in a major city. What is it?
Listen, I only drive in the city when I absolutely have to. I don't have my car here.
Okay.
It really stresses me out. My car is old. I don't have a backup camera. It's tiny. I just feel like there's a lot of factors against me. But I will have to say, I have gotten significantly better since moving to the city. When I do occasionally have my car here every once in a while. When I do, I might be stressed. If you're in the car with me, I'm going to turn into a demon. You don't want to be with me, but I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh, wait, are you the kind of person who would be like the person to your right? So whoever's in the next seat, will you come over and do the parallel parking for me? Will you ask them to do that, or will you at least try?
I'll at least try. But I will be music off, silence in the car. If I hear a laugh, get out of the car.
You're booted. No, my mom will tell me to do it.
Really? You give that you'd be good.
Yes, I'm from New York.
Yes. Right.
And funny enough, I did learn without a backup cam.
Okay, right.
But my car does have a backup cam.
I feel like
Am I cheating?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But what is cheating in this game of parallel parking?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I'm still trying to verify if
Right.
this is true.
Right.
But I was just scrolling on Instagram and I saw some ad for
Yes.
parallel parking, and there
Yes.
may be a championship, a competition.
Yes.
So are you the best parallel parker in Philly? And if you think you are, they want you to prove it.
Prove it.
And they've got this application August 15th, 2026. Now again, I have not verified whether this is valid. I just know I saw it on Instagram and I thought
Right.
it was funny.
Right.
So right
We
now
had to-
we're
we
going
had
to
to bring
treat
it
it as a parody until I can look further
Right.
into this.
Right.
But just, I mean, out of curiosity, what would be the marker of
It's
who's
funny
the best?
because I'm looking at some of the comments.
Mhm.
The one says use of backup cameras should be an automatic disqualification, which
Okay.
Loki, I think that's valid in this scenario.
Yes,
You know,
I do agree, especially if you've got the park assist. You know, they'll put the lines
Yes.
on the screen
Yes.
for you.
That-
That you
I
should be
feel
able
like
to use
that's cheating.
Yeah.
Someone else said have obstacles like folding chairs and cones.
Some other obstacles, because we were talking about it in here in
Right.
the commercial break before we came out to you guys. Someone in the back said that you should have to do it on a hill.
Right.
Another
I just
per-
got chills. I just got chills.
This is actually your horror film right here.
Yeah.
Someone else said that you should have distractions. I don't know if that means a kid in the back seat or like people in the back honking at you, like, get out the way. This is a skinny
A
street.
big line of traffic. I would pass away, I think.
See, when it comes to parallel parking, I don't care what you got going on.
Right.
But I think I talked about this before, like whole road rage thing. I try not to feed into it.
Yeah,
So.
I don't do road rage. I do
Mhm.
road stress. I do road stress.
This is
So-
hilarious to me. I would love to compete in this. I think that I could do it, even
No.
without having driven for a couple of months
No,
now.
this literally would be my nightmare. Like Charlie XCX, I think I'm gonna die in this house. Like
Oh
that
my
sound on
gosh.
TikTok, like that would be me like doing the challenge.
This is so much. Okay, so back to the home run derby, you guys. They still haven't gotten underway yet, so we don't quite know whether Kyle Schwarber or Wilson Contreras will come out on top in their particular matchup. But
I'm
keep
nervous.
watching Fox 29 if you guys want to see who makes it to the finals. This has been Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. We've brought Jake Leonard up to the
Thank
desk.
you.
We talked to you about all things. We showed you the home run derby, at least a little bit of it. We also talked to you about Senator Lindsey Graham, who lost his life, and how everybody is mourning him and what they're doing for him.
Yes.
We talked to you about some other headlines as well. Now, got about a minute left. Don't go anywhere. Again, the news does continue after this.